Welcome to the original rock and wrestling radio show. Welcome to Beyond Ringside, your source for wrestling, MMA, and boxing in the Southeast. To contact the Ringside Roundtable of Beyond Ringside, email them at beyondringside@gmail.com. And now, your host for Beyond Ringside, the man, no myth, all legend, Fast Eddie Layne.
Saturday mornings, you doggone right. 3 minutes after the top of the hour, live from Studio 2, the second day of November. I don't know about you, but I think we need to file a missing persons report on October. I think that would be the most logical thing to do right now. Like to welcome in tag team partners, Hitman BDC Ryan Adcock. What's up?
As always, my friend. What you gotta tell me how we're playing dominoes on which studio we're in. Studio 1, Studio 2. I don't understand.
It depends on how close to a hangover I am, because if I'm in Studio 2, it's got better insulation. If I'm in Studio 1, the walls are paper thin, so therefore if I'm hungover, we don't need to be in Studio 1.
Ah, so we had fun at Buffalo Wild Wings last night, did we?
No, I'm not hungover. That's the fun part. Although somebody who might just be, I'm kidding. The cause and effect. Robert Cosper, what's up, man?
Well, that's a real long shot there that I might be nursing a hangover. What's going on, gentlemen?
Yeah, I know. I think he's giving away 6 shots on that cover bet.
I'm out of your bets. I'm out of your gamblings.
I do not gamble.
You wager.
Yes, especially lunch every once in a while. And I'm actually considering that notion, Hitman. Plain and simple. We were talking off air before we came live. We were talking about some of the games that are going on in college football this weekend. And before we get into that, let me go ahead and start. Let me do a quick recap, if you will. Number one, I want to say a very special thank you to Phil Stamper and Nate Stein for coming on the Tuesday night conversation Beyond Ringside Back to Basics this past Tuesday evening. Great to have Phil back on. Found out a lot of great things that are going to be happening, not only with him, but of course some of the promotions with which he works, including the AIWF promotions. He's getting ready to make some appearances with them again. And of course, today in Voorhees, New Jersey, Combat Zone Wrestling live on iPay-per-view, a night of infamy. It is going to be a solid outing and then some. Folks, if you get a chance to check it out on your tablet, your smartphone, your laptop, your desktop, it doesn't matter. Check out czwippv.com tonight for Combat Zone Wrestling, a night of infamy. They've got some great matches mapped out and quite a few surprises in the mix. And
after listening to that interview, I didn't think it was anatomically possible, but I think somebody can give you a run for promotion.
That's why Phil and I get along so well. He comes loaded for bear and sitting ready to play.
I thought his head was going to explode.
Well, I always appreciate it when somebody who is doing PR for a company has all their stuff has all their information set up and ready to go. I'm thoroughly impressed. It's kind of like the night that Bruce Tharp and Chris Ronquillo came on to talk about NWA Invasion. They had their liner notes ready. They had all their stuff ready to go. It's like, this makes my job so much more fun. And, you know, I don't fault promoters who are working as hard as they can to try to put together the show. But when you're doing media, you've got to have backstory and everything ready to go. But seriously, I've had a chance to do my homework even before the interview with Phil this past Tuesday night on the Back to Basics episode. And if you haven't checked it out yet, please take the opportunity. Check out Beyond Ringside Radio when we turn the stream back over to the rotator, I'll get it right in a minute, to the automated system. The interview with Phil is going to be part of that rotation. And, of course, you can catch us on our podcast. BeyondRingside.podomatic.com is the address. And, of course, the easy way to do it, go to BeyondRingside.com and check out the media page. Recent episodes actually going back quite a ways, because as we move things off of the podcast site, we have everything set up over at archive.org. So we load it up over there and bring the links back over to the media page so you're not missing anything. Everything is up and current. Lord help us all. Sometimes it gets a little bit overwhelming every once in a while when you're trying to keep everything up to date. Because everybody knows I pretty much gun Studio 1 and Studio 2 solo. And I accept all help when opportunities arise. But it's just been, with my schedule the way it is, And I'm not making excuses. It just makes it all that much more fun. Let's see. Number 2, tomorrow, 5:30 Central, 6:30 Eastern, Beyond Ringside Live returns after a little bit of a hiatus. Going to be joined by special guest pro wrestling star Mike Cruz. Had an opportunity to work with Mike with a few weeks back, and looking forward to his return engagement in the great state of Alabama. And, of course, he's been making quite a rep all the way up and down the eastern seaboard, especially in Georgia, Florida, all of the above. So definitely join us tomorrow, 6:30 Eastern, 5:30 Central. Back in action, Beyond Ringside Live, Sunday nights. Yes, I can possibly add something else to my schedule. Why? Because I'm just that damn crazy. In a week that had a Money in the Bank cash-in, and someone became the second individual to not cash in successfully. And I'm referring.
I was so tempted to text Robert because I know he watches that on Hulu, so he didn't see it. I was so.
I'm glad nobody did. I enjoyed the match.
I had my iPhone in my hand like 2 or 3 times. I was like, no, I can't do it.
I almost did too.
I would have been in tears. I enjoyed it though. I enjoyed it. I hated the outcome. That's what Eddie and I were talking about earlier. I was really, really let down. I thought that we were finally going to get to see something new, something that we hadn't seen in a long time. Have the Doctor stop the match and hand the title over to Sandow.
They should have.
It would have been beautiful, but it didn't happen. But still a very good match. The fans were in on it or behind it, I should say. And I'm just glad to see we're not doing away with the Angle because I was really scared. Okay, he's cashed in. Unsuccessful, and that's the last we're going to see of it. But it looks like they're going to run with it, so I'm good with that.
Well, there's 2 things going on here. First of all, whether you like him, whether you hate him, whether he's Super Cena or John Cena or Make-A-Wish or whatever, they're not going to bring him back unless he's ready to go. So maybe the torn tricep wasn't as bad as everybody thought, but he's not going to be back in that ring. Vince is not going to take a chance of hurting his golden goose. So you know they wasn't going to put him through that if he wasn't ready to handle it. And second of all, I know y'all don't believe this, but I think losing almost made Damian bigger.
No, I kind of agree with that, actually.
I think losing made him a bigger and better character.
I can kind of agree with that because it at least put him on the map. Like with me, he's been on the map, obviously. But
like I told you before, that's because you see him when you look in the mirror.
Hey, man, the guy is almost as good looking as I am, almost.
Oh.
But just to some people, he just, I hate to say it, mid-card guy. He's just another character on the show. But no, man, he's got the tools. He absolutely does, and I think he got the opportunity to show everybody that in the ring with somebody of Cena's caliber. Cena's stature.
He has more in ring, and I'm not saying this because you're one of his biggest fans, but I'm telling you this, and I've said this for months. He's got more in ring talent than Curtis Axel and Ryback combined.
Oh, absolutely. He's got more out of the ring talent than
wait.
To finally see him get his chance to show it.
A Jim Clip has more in ring talent than Ryback.
Jim Clip barely has less talent than Curtis Axel.
Oh, no, now we're getting into fighting territory now.
You can't sit there and tell me that you believe that. You're basing that on his daddy.
No, I'm basing it on his work in progress. He gets better every week. He's not.
No.
Inside the ring, he's not bad at all.
He's not bad in the ring, but he's stagnant. What he was in the ring when he got the Intercontinental Championship or even pre-Intercontinental Championship, he has not improved any. And his outside the ring has regressed. Damian has improved outside the ring and inside the ring from day one until now.
Oh, absolutely he has. It's a hard challenge to go find somebody who's better on a microphone than Damian Sandow is right now. There's only a handful of people.
And
I can't argue that.
That's a genuine handful, by the way, for the record. I mean, because of the fact, and this is one thing that I genuinely appreciate about Sandow, is the fact that he does maintain a cerebral approach. There's an R in there, dum-dum.
Approach?
It's an approach. Yeah, really. Let's crack some eggs and throw them against the wall and see what sticks. He does maintain a cerebral approach to his promos and his interviews, while at the same time being street sarcastic as far as the inflection and the tone. Now, I'm going to call a BS card on Monday night for one simple reason. I'm tired. The reason why a lot of people cannot, and will not tolerate John Cena, can't stand John Cena, is because of the Superman crap. And even JBL said, that was a superhuman effort. When you take a person's arm, wring it, twist it, bend it, fold it, spindle, mutilate it, wrap it around a ring post, smack it with a steel chair while you're on the steel steps. Granted, he sold the arm. But I want you to understand the basic laws of logic here. There are none when it comes to WWE. Hey, we're going to go ahead and take a brick of C4 and shove it up somebody's arse and turn around and explode it, and they're still going to turn around and deliver a DDT and win.
But you got to admit, though, I see where you're going, and you're more than welcome to finish. But let me say this. The 2 AAs that he delivered, he did it with one arm.
Irrelevancy.
No, it's not. I mean, he sold the arm. He didn't all of a sudden his arm was fine and he's going to AA you. He at least made you believe that it was hurt again.
Okay.
Which it may have been. I don't know.
During
back to his Superman theory, he did it with one arm, not once but twice.
Exactly. Delivered the AA to Sandow, who was supposed to be the money in the bank that they had been building for the longest time. And some would say too long, others say not long enough. I think Sandow was at a great point for the cash-in right there. I think the delivery on it was great. How many people do you know that actually get up from being smacked in the head with a briefcase, even though it is leather covered? Can you
and it shattered when he hit him, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
But how many people do you know can pick up the Big Show and AA him either?
Depending on how good their lower body strength is, because if you can post, you know how to sell it. I'm sorry. Wrestling 101.
This business, they can pick the Big Show up on their shoulders.
Wrestling 101 in that particular regard. If you know what you're doing, you can make it look good for a half second. The trick is getting him over after getting him up and posted.
But I mean, he's a genetic freak anyway. I know the Superman thing. I'm not talking about that. But Cena's a genetic freak anyway.
We say
he's done
possibly
things in the ring with
genetics.
guys that you're like, how the hell did he do that?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, but still, he's still twice the size that he was when he first came into WWE and took on Kurt Angle.
True.
But granted, he's not.
He's upped his game in the gym, apparently.
And granted, he's not bobblehead Cena, so that kind of rules out certain things having taken place. But, you know, I'm sorry.
I'm not going to sit here and tell you he's not getting some kind of help.
I'm sure he's getting some kind of help, but I'm just not going to say it's illegal help. I'm saying it's probably ethical. I'm saying that he's probably smart enough to be able to talk to his doctor and say, look, this is what I want to do. How can I do it the right way? Okay, I'm good with it.
You can talk to Vince's doctor because you know he's on Vince's doctor's taking care of.
You know, Vince's doctor is...
They keep on staff now to make sure they don't get popped for PEDs.
No, because they keep Samson right there on staff due to the fact that states like Alabama require you to have trained medical staff on the show. That's one of the things for the Alabama Athletic Commission. No matter what happens or where you do your show, it can be at the Birmingham Jefferson Civic Center Coliseum, it can be at the Op Armory, and you have got to have a trained medical specialist there, whether it be an EMT, whether it be a doctor or a nurse. You have to have somebody with a license to practice one form of medicine or another in an emergency circumstance. So,
well, I mean, you got to think about it, though. I know the Alabama Commission is a lot of politics, and a lot of the wrestling organizations have problems with it. But that's not a bad rule.
No, it's not.
It's really not.
No, I'm not arguing and disagreeing. I'm not going to argue that. I think it's a great idea. Look, and we're going to segue for a hot second. I'm going to come back to the Super Cena horse crap in just a minute, because the basic rule of thumb is, with the risk, and for everyone who wants to sit back and say, "Oh man, pro wrestling's fake. It's storyline. It's programmed. It's all They got this worked out."
That's all true.
Yeah, okay. Understand the concept here. People are still putting their bodies on the line every time they step between the ropes.
And that's true, too.
We have seen the fact that Cena just came off of surgery on the arm. We're not sure how extensive the surgery was. How many times have we seen wrestlers go down with concussions? How many times have we seen a quad pull, ACL, MCL, ECL, Achilles? How many times have we seen broken bones where you can obviously see that the bones are broken because they're trying to poke out of the damn skin?
All right.
I mean, so let's look the world through proper perspective because of the risks that are taken. I mean, my God, look at a TLC match. If that's not a death wish waiting to happen, I don't know what is. If you really go full steam 100% in a true ladder match or a TLC match, case point scenario, Global Championship Wrestling a couple of months back when Spiral and Showtime's Shane Fox put it together for the middleweight title. These two guys lit it up. But they were also putting their bodies on the line in a ladder match, and it's like, fortunately, we had somebody there just in case. Unfortunately, the ladder did not respond to defibrillation or CPR, and we had to go ahead and just call the ladder deceased after the match was over with. Cosper, you were there for that, weren't you?
I missed the ladder match.
Damn.
I watched the previous match that led up to it when they decided ladder match is going to be the only way to settle it.
Yeah, and like I said, that poor ladder stood no chance. It really didn't. I mean, the three-way dance, actually, it's a fatal four-way between the big ladder, the little ladder, Fox, and Spiral. And the little ladder survived to go on and win the Cruiser Ladder Championship, but unfortunately, the bigger ladder it didn't make it. So it gave its all in a valiant effort, but even defibrillation couldn't help.
Well, tell Dan to buy better ladders.
Dude.
And that, my friends, was a shoot.
The one that was used was actually industrial strength.
Come on, man.
It did not make it.
Some of these ladders that you've seen Jeff Hardy and the Dudley Boys and Edge and Christian do back in the day, they took way more punishment than that one did that night.
Did you see?
Those they may have bent, but those didn't break.
Bent, break, fold, spindle, mutilate, all of the above. But seriously, I am all in favor of pro wrestling promotions, MMA promotions, boxing promotions, sporting promotions in general, having someone on staff as far as being licensed medical practitioner in an emergency or standardized circumstance. I mean, I think it's a great idea. I will never say otherwise. And I agree with Cosper from earlier. I really was hoping, since they had Samson come walk up to the ring and stand at the ring and look at Cena, I was really hoping they would go ahead and, okay, granted, it would give a shaky start to Sandal's championship run. But, you know something? You get your launching pad where you can. And that would have made perfect sense for Samson to stop the match. So I would have been all in favor of that 100%. Coming back to Superman, this is the one thing that I've said this before, and I'm not the only one. And reading social media, people were right back on it. They picked up where they left off. The fact of the matter stands. We understand, everybody understands, whether you're in the business, whether you're not in the business, whether you're a worker, whether you're a fan. It doesn't matter. We all understand that even if we look at the television product, even we look at a live product, we are suspending reality for a moment in time. And that's what we hope for, is that moment in time.
That's when you know you did your job well.
But when it was time after effing time with John Cena, it's worse than it was with Hulk Hogan.
I wouldn't go that far.
I would.
Cena's a modern day Hogan. There's not a doubt about that. But
Time out. He's got 10 times the talent in the ring or on the mic that Hogan ever had.
Well, that's true.
To finish my statement, I was going to say at least Cena has some talent. He's got some entertainment value. But he is your modern day Hogan, and you know that there's going to be a belt on Cena pretty much the whole way through his entire career. If he's wrestling, he's going to have a belt or be the number one contender.
And he doesn't need the belt. That's the funny part about it. But I think in this particular circumstance, because of the stature of Cena in the WWE, it re-elevates the World Heavyweight Championship.
Exactly.
Great. I agree.
The World Heavyweight Championship was almost an afterthought around ADR's waist. At least Cena re-elevated it.
And what you had right now is what I was telling Eddie before the show. I've just now started SmackDown, so I haven't finished it yet. But just putting Cena back over on SmackDown with that world title, it changes up the format of SmackDown, spices up their show a little bit because you see guys over there that you don't always see on Raw. It's
which
not
I thought
that
was a good. Which I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but which I thought was a good idea. They at least didn't slam him back into the WWE title picture.
Thank God.
Yeah, you've kind of already made your bed with the WWE title right now. So you need to, you're committed to that angle, run with it, and bringing Cena right back in and taking it back would have it wouldn't have flown in my opinion. I think they've done the right thing.
It is a beautiful day in Tallahassee, Florida. One guess what I'm watching.
Gee, I can't imagine. Could it be game day?
Of course. It's Saturday morning. I'm multitasking. Actually, I'm back and forth between 3 broadcasts, but the main monitor over on the side wall is on game day. 25 after the top of the hour. Folks, like I said, and I have to come back to this for a hot second. Understanding the suspension of belief and putting it on hold for a second is what we do in pro wrestling. But even WWE needs to remember the simple fact of life that there is a line between credibility and believability and just total horse crap. I mean, look, understand, pro wrestling has been running off the concept in a number of ways. And folks, for you listening, I'm telling the truth on this. Not only for the good versus evil, but also on a comic book flair.
Yeah, you're talking about an angle where a guy Daniel Bryan size can beat a guy the Big Show size in a fight. Really?
I'm still not having a problem with that because it's
Come
Daniel
on.
Bryan. And if it was Joe Blow, I would say yeah, I'm not buying into it. But Daniel Bryan's one of the best wrestlers active.
He may be one of the best wrestlers, but basically wrestling is billed as a fight. Okay, and the concept of a guy 5'8", 5'9", 195, 200 pounds beating a guy 7 foot tall, 500 pounds is a joke.
Yeah, to a point. To a point.
It could be worse. It could be Rey Mysterio. I think when
you go back to suspending the realm of believability a little bit, and I think it flies. I don't have a huge problem with it.
See, and the thing about it is, I just got sick and tired of Rey Mysterio constantly being put over as super midget against Big Show, against Batista, against everybody that they'd put in for.
No, I agree with that. That's why I said it depends on who you have doing it. And with Daniel Bryan, I don't have a problem. Mysterio, I never liked the angle.
Now, granted the fact that Rey Mysterio does have 35 times the talent of Dave Batista, and that's being conservative.
But Mysterio and Bryan wrestle a totally different style.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not talking about style or in-ring believability. I'm talking about size.
Yeah, but you're
size of somebody like Daniel Bryan or Rey Mysterio beating somebody like Batista or Kevin Nash or Big Show is a joke.
But you're partial to that. You're partial to the big men. You're partial to that heavyweight division. Same thing.
No. I mean, I'm not going to lump people like Triple H and John Cena. So you can believe that because those are bigger guys. I'm just talking about when they put the super midgets in there. And I guess Daniel Bryan probably doesn't fit that mold. He's like a bigger super midget. But I mean, I'm just talking about size.
Like a super dwarf, then. Super dwarf.
Yeah, super troll. There you go.
Okay, there we go.
I'm just saying the believability is almost a joke. But yet they constantly keep pushing that angle. They've done it for 25 years. Anybody that ever beat Andre is a joke.
Oh, I agree. Anybody that beat Andre is a joke because there's only
anybody that beat Big John Studd, anybody that beat Bundy, they're jokes. I mean, these guys would destroy these guys in a fight, and they make you believe that a guy 5'8", 195 pounds can beat them.
I've never saw anyone 5'8", 195 beat Andre or Bundy for that matter.
You saw Daniel Bryan beat the Big Show. It's the same thing.
I don't have Big Show in a category with Andre. You know, I know
he's 7 foot tall, 500 pounds.
But he's still not Andre.
No, but he's 500 pounds. I mean, yeah, Daniel Bryan could probably outrun him in a race, but what I'm saying is when you put him in a squared circle and somebody that size gets their hands on him, it's over.
Well, that's almost like saying back in '93, Flair didn't stand a chance against Vader.
In a real fight, probably not. That's my point.
We're suspending the realm of believability here, and
how about a drinking contest?
I put my money on Flair.
I put my money on Flair.
I don't know with Vader's size. I'd have to go with Vader. He could probably consume more.
I don't know. Flair's got a lot of experience.
A ton of experience.
True, but size counteracts experience a lot of times when it comes to drinking, because the consumption of alcohol into the human body is just chemistry. And if you have more human body, you can consume more alcohol.
That's not true, because I drink people 6 feet tall under the table, and I'm only 5'8" on a good day. Want to let
you ain't never outdrank me, son.
See, Ryan is so proving my theory. Even in drinking, he's partial to the big guys.
See, there
Maybe
you go.
Because the man's 6'5", 280 something pounds. Perhaps that's it. But
Well,
as we are getting
I appreciate the 280 pound reference. Thank you, sir.
Well, I didn't want to go too far over the top.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
As we are getting ready to head to the bottom of the hour break, want to let all of our friends up in the Central States area, specifically Cincinnati, Ohio. Tonight, Ring of Honor Wrestling presents The Golden Dream at the Masonic Center, 315 East 5th Street in Cincinnati. The main event will be a Supercard of Honor 7 rematch, Jay Briscoe versus Kevin Steen. That match in and of itself is worth the price of admission right there, because you know these two are going to tear it up. World champion Adam Cole scheduled to be there. Not exactly sure what they're doing, and that's exactly from the ROH website on that regard, too.
Are you sure he's going to be there now?
According to that, he will be making an appearance.
Yeah, I mean, he ain't wrestling.
Once again, even ROHWrestling.com is saying will still appear Saturday night in Cincinnati.
Okay.
World television title will be on the line. Matt Taven versus Adam Page. Title probably won't change hands, but you know something? It doesn't matter. It's going to be a damn good match. 4-corner survival match. Tommaso Ciampa, Jay Lethal, Mark Briscoe, and Michael Bennett.
That should be good.
Winner receives a shot at the World TV title at Final Battle. Jimmy Jacobs Trial Series match number 5. Jimmy Jacobs versus Roderick Strong. For the first time in ROH, Davey Richards versus ACH. Oh, this is a damn... Say what?
I don't think he's going to be there much longer, do you?
Who dat?
Davey Richards.
No comment yet. One-on-one, Unbreakable Michael Elgin taking on Silas Young. BJ Whitmer will make a special appearance. Pre-show, Nigel McGuinness is scheduled to take part in a Q&A session. Also signed to appear tonight, ROH World Tag Team Champions Red Dragon, Kyle O'Reilly, and Bobby Fish, plus a whole lot more. Once again, that is going to be a 7:30 local time start at the Masonic Center, 315 East 5th Street, Ring of Honor Wrestling in Cincinnati, Ohio. Folks, we're headed to that break. We're back in just a few, right here on Beyond Ringside. This is the Saturday Showcase.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, liftoff.
The music plays, the microphones go hot, and we are still very much live on this Saturday morning. Second day of November 2013, 21 before the top of the hour, running a little bit late on that break. Welcome back into Beyond Ringside Saturday Showcase. Fast, steady Layne, Robert Cosper, Ryan Adcock, set ready to keep this thing going. You know, amazingly enough, we went through the first 30-minute segment and did not bash the first time TNA. However, WWE gave us that much arsenal. Short version is Beyond Ringside Live returns tomorrow night, 6:30 Eastern, 5:30 Central. Special guest will be Mike Cruz. Glad to be back on the Sunday edition after an extended hiatus, and you just never know what's going to happen next. Of course, we are here every Saturday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific. We were talking about Superman a little while ago, and no, not necessarily the comic books. When it comes down to it and everything is said and done, look, there are some characters that are completely and totally written out of context. There are some characters that are underwritten. There are characters that are overwritten. Right now, honestly, over the last few weeks, up until the time he was banned for life by WWE or by the authority. Big Show.
I don't have a problem with.
Big Show had been written perfectly over the last few weeks, with the exception of the crying fits. Although I think he sold that magnanimously. Plain and simple.
This is as popular as he has ever been in WWE.
And that blows me away. I don't understand that.
He has moments. Okay, I'll lay it out there. We were talking off air. A lot of people are calling the game of the day Miami versus Florida State.
Stop. You're not allowed to cut away from wrestling to go to college football like that.
Yeah, I am.
Why? He does it at least 3 times a week.
I know, but trying to follow you is like trying to follow an EKG machine.
Thank God. I did something right.
Ritalin and calm your ADHD down, okay?
No, I just want to try to get these in there before the top of the hour predictions are done.
Get your little wagers out of the way here so we can get back to wrestling. I'll sit here and be quiet.
I have never... Okay, look. Miami is in a position to pull an upset, but so many things would have to come into play for Miami to upset Florida State.
Yeah, Florida State would have to wreck the bus on the way to the stadium.
Please don't make comments like that, because if they wreck the bus on the way to the stadium, you're going to feel like crap.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Thank you.
Since Jameson Winston's a hometown boy.
Yes, he is. I'm still trying to figure out when they're going to go ahead and start making the cookie bags with him on it, because they're calling him Famous Jameis.
Maybe one of you two, since I know Robert doesn't like pro ball, but he likes college ball, and me and Eddie like both. Y'all explain to me how Jameson Winston gets out of this frickin' state.
Oh, easy.
How he's not so heavily recruited by both of these guys that he stays at home.
He was recruited by Alabama, but the fact of the matter is he wanted to play right then and there, and we had somebody in place.
Not to play quarterback, he wasn't.
What did he want to play?
They wanted him to play another position. They wanted him to play a defensive position.
Yeah, I wouldn't have put Winston on defense. I'm sorry, the kid's got too much talent.
That's like Phillip Rivers when he went to Athens High School. The only school that recruited him in the state was Auburn. They wanted him to play safety. Let's see if we missed on that.
Rivers playing safety? No. Rivers at quarterback would have been a damn good thing.
I agree. He's only done it for the Chargers for the past decade.
Yeah, and done it quite nicely.
But he's not the prototype, though. If you ever really paid attention to him, he throws the ball unorthodox as hell.
Yeah, but he's got good line of sight vision, he's got good skills at quarterback. But granted, okay, look, he's not three.
His line of sight's easy when you're 6'6".
Yep, I'll drink to that. And actually, I'm drinking water right now. I know it's not fire water.
And apparently, according to what I heard on an interview with him the other day, he has great line of sight because he has 8 kids.
All right, now you guys during the break were plotting the demise of some buffet around here.
No, I am not going to make a bet.
I just said if he was going to flap his gums, let's see if he can put his money where his mouth was.
I am not going to bet on the outcome of Florida State Miami. I like Miami. I like Florida State. I have no problem with either school. I don't want either one of them to lose, honestly.
Well, one of them is not only going to lose today, they're going to lose ugly.
I don't think it's going to be ugly.
Well, like I said, put your money where your mouth is.
Blah, blah, blah. Is everything got to...
You do realize that the U had a hard time beating North Carolina and Wake Forest.
Yeah, I know. The line is 20.
They were behind in both of those games with less than 8 minutes to go.
Here's the weird thing about this, and don't laugh too hard when I say this. The line right now, as it stands, is 22 on the one that I pay attention to. And everything else is 21, 20 and a half, 21. And I'm going, if the one that I pay the most attention to actually said 21, I would say, okay. But it says 22, and I'm saying 21. I'm saying that Florida State will beat Miami by 3 touchdowns. I'll agree to that.
No, what you said during the break, and you don't want to say on the air, is that Florida State was not going to blow out Miami.
I don't call 3 touchdowns a blowout.
3 touchdowns is a blowout, brother.
That means you've only scored 3 more times than your opponent. It's like basketball. That would be 6 points. Unless
you scored 3 more touchdowns than your opponent. You know, they have this thing called a field goal.
And they have a safety. And they have a PAT.
Yes, as we saw on Monday Night Football, or Thursday Night Football, by the way.
Yes, we did.
Which I think was a bad call. I thought he had the ball out of the end zone. But that's neither here nor there.
Neither. Yeah, I know. How many times have we seen that all through the year, where it's either been a perfectly called situation or a bad call?
But it was a situation where, as simple as this, they made the call on the field as a safety, and I didn't think there was enough evidence to overturn it. So.
Yeah, I know.
And if they'd have said he got tackled on the half-yard line, I wouldn't have think there was enough evidence there to say it was a safety either. So, if there's not enough evidence to overturn it, you have to leave it alone.
And yes, I do believe that 61 is going to be demolished as far as the over goes.
Oh, God, that's a joke.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, here's your kick in the nuts. If Florida State blows out Miami 45-0, A, they've covered the line. B, they did not catch the over.
Right.
So obviously,
I'm not going to sit here and tell you I don't think Miami's not going to score.
I think Miami is going to score, and I'm honestly going to sit back and say I think the final score is probably going to be somewhere. I'd give Florida State somewhere around 56-58, turn around and give Miami somewhere like 39-40. Maybe. No, I don't think they'll score 5 touchdowns. I'll go and stick with around 32-33.
I guarantee you Miami doesn't get it out of the 20s if they get it that high. You do realize that Maryland was ranked in the top 25 in Florida State, and they beat them 63-0.
Yeah, I know. You realize that Florida State was outgunned by Clemson, and they beat the living crap out of them, too.
I don't think they were outgunned by Clemson. I don't think they were outgunned by Clemson.
They were outranked. They were outranked.
So?
Yeah, we've seen how those things can be done. Oh, guest picker, Jake Owens. We need to get him on the show. There you go.
Yep, Jake Owens.
Country music star.
Who?
Jake Owen, country music star.
Who?
Hitman doesn't listen to country, kids.
Who?
Hey, they're bringing out Chad Kroger. Oh, you know him. Okay.
Who?
I knew him 15 years ago, but now who?
Who? Okay. Cosper, we're going to segue. We're coming back to it. Okay, for the record, yes, I'm going to go ahead and say Florida State will win by 3 touchdowns over Miami today. For as much as that pains me.
Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, listen to the show. That is not what he said off air.
I said that Miami.
He said that Miami would keep this game close.
I said if the stars line up, Miami has a chance to pull a major upset as far as the scoring goes.
That is not what you said. You're not going to worm your way out of this one. And Robert's my backup. He knows what you said.
I run the board. I can go to commercial break. I don't give a damn.
You can go to commercial anytime you want, but that don't mean it changes what you said.
Is this microphone on over here?
Yes, it is.
Thought it might have been muted there.
Nope. I wouldn't do that to you.
My comment was Florida State's going to blow Miami out of the water, and you said Florida State will not blow out Miami. Miami will keep this game close. That is exactly what you said.
That's pretty close to what you said, yeah.
Okay.
And I said, put your money where your mouth is, and let's bet a lunch on it.
Nah.
And then you go come on air and say Florida State's going to win by 3 touchdowns. By your no comment, that proves my point.
I've had an opportunity to rethink my stance. But I just don't.
What, you have 30 seconds?
They do it well, no, I do it faster than they do in the political. It's like, okay, where am I going to go with this? Yeah, that ain't going to work. Hold on.
Kids, that means he doesn't have the guts to bet what he thinks.
Yeah, he's in the middle of a hasty retreat right here.
You think? He's recalling the troops back from the battlefield.
I'm sitting here eating my hot fries. Leave me alone.
Well, because if you made that bet, you wouldn't be eating your crab legs, so leave me alone.
We'd be going to Subway, dude.
You may be eating your crab legs, but you have to pay for mine too.
There you go. Cosper, you said that a friend of the show.
My good friend. This is great. I get to put his question out on the air.
Yes, you do.
You know, we used to do that every week.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. We used to come up with a question. Somebody keeps dropping the ball.
I told y'all.
That guy that runs the board, he can go to commercial when he wants to.
No, I'm the one who told y'all last week. Y'all figure out what question y'all want to use and go ahead and tell me about it when you figure it out.
All right. Well, next week we will have the question of the week back.
Yay!
Yeah, he tells us that after you're halfway to Georgia for a wedding.
We had a week after the wedding.
Well, he comes up with this stuff after I'm on the road and can't participate, and
Exactly.
I've got a busy week.
Mm-hmm.
You guys act like my life revolves around wrestling or something.
We move on.
Now, my friend Josh, I want to say congratulations to him. He and his fiance are expecting.
Congratulations.
And he posted a question. They're going to have a son. His question is, if you were to name your son after a wrestler, who would it be and why?
Is this one of your friends that's a Bama, or has he actually got sense?
No, he's got sense. He's an Auburn guy.
I hear you, buddy. Congratulations. You got lots.
It's one of Eddie's favorite people.
Oh, yeah. Just go ahead and mention his name. It's Josh.
Josh Hand, my
Yeah,
buddy.
love him to death.
My pal. The man who exposed Rick Carly, even.
I got a funny story I'll tell you about. I got a funny story I'll tell you about Rick Carly off the air.
Well, Josh had made a post on his Facebook. This was several years ago, because he does like to put stuff out there just to see who will buy, you know. And he puts out there, and Rick Carly happened to be a Facebook friend with him, and I forgot, it was some kind of ridiculously huge bass fish that he caught. It's completely and totally fake, you know. That he was in the Guinness Book of World Records. Well, rather than fact check it, went on the Fox 6 News with it, and
kind of like that mustache we used to sport.
Yeah, well, Fox 6 gets all kind of comments coming to them from all the fishermen across the state of, this is complete and total BS. That's a lie. There's no way. If I'm not mistaken, he got a pretty nasty email from Mr. Carly after that.
Yep. I love Josh. He loves to stir it up, plain and simple.
Yes, he does.
And just when you think you're safe and you're on the same page, no, that ain't gonna work either.
No, because I'm not convinced that him having a son is legit. With him, it's entirely possible. It's a gag.
He went to Abco. It's rent to own.
Was this your driver at the night of the pay-per-view?
No, that's Slim. That's Slim.
Oh, okay.
No, I think Josh probably would have been just as, if not more, hammered than Robert was.
That would have took a lot of alcohol.
I have
It's not
stockings.
Hammered, tipsy perhaps.
Hammered.
Robert, you were hammered that night.
After SummerSlam, hammered.
Hammered.
I wouldn't say hammered. I'd say the cold medicine caught up to me then.
Yeah, okay.
Whatever that remedy was.
That new Budweiser flavored cold medicine.
We move
yeah,
on.
The shots the bartender was making, she should put a copyright on those, man. I'm telling you.
And actually, for me, I'll just go ahead and say, you know something? After yesterday, if I actually move to Germany, I will not have to worry about coughing.
Oh, of course not. I guess you'll be going with Jägermeister over there?
No, I went with Jägermeister yesterday.
Oh.
And everybody calls
By
it...
the way, at SummerSlam, I didn't see a shot come slide my way, just for the record.
I didn't see one my way either.
I know.
Gosh, you got to see my bar tab?
No, that's his fault, not mine.
No, because we weren't involved with it, sir.
There you go. Meanwhile, so what name did everybody decide to go with? Because I have no idea what I would choose, honestly.
That's not one we can answer right now. We're going to have a couple of breaks to think about that.
At
It's
least.
a great question. It's just, I'm not sure.
I might go with Damien.
Of course you would.
Of course.
Why not just go with Robert?
Kind of like
that
another
would be
good,
a great name.
Kind of like another good friend of ours, Brooks Logan, Beyond Ringside alumni, would probably go with the name Rick.
Mm-hmm.
Or Richard.
Or Dick.
No, I doubt that.
I doubt it too.
Now,
another name for Rick there.
thank you, Mr. Nixon.
In the business that I used to be in, and I'm not going to say what it is. Most of y'all already know, but I'm not going to say it anyway.
Okay.
Because I might give away who I'm talking about. If anybody around here knows any of these people. But there was a guy that was named Richard, and he was a complete dick.
Tater.
So I took great pleasure in every time we spoke, which was a rarity, that I emphasized the word dick.
Tater.
Well, I don't think does that break the hell damn ass rule since we're using a...
Yeah, that actually does. That's why I put Tater
That
after
break
that.
the rule. Dick is short for Richard. How's that breaking the rule?
Okay, just context.
The dude's name was Richard. I didn't break the rule. I didn't say penis. Oops.
Son of a gun. Gotta love it. Now, I want to give more than 5 minutes to this, but I'm going to pull us back into wrestling for a hot mess second.
Unbelievable.
You're the one that took us out of it.
We're going to talk about wrestling. Unreal.
We did the whole first segment. And Cosper, just for you, next segment's going to be pro football.
Oh, geez. Wake me when we're done.
No, actually, we only got 4 minutes in the segment, so I'm going to go ahead and say this. First off, Boston Red Sox pulled out the victory in the World Series. 6 games. I actually had St. Louis in 6. Boston was on a mission. I thought St. Louis was actually going to be the better team. And I have no qualms in sitting back saying I have no issue with the Bo Sox. They turned in a great World Series. Ortiz cemented the fact that he is in definitely a force to be reckoned with no matter what time of the year it is.
St. Louis is a better team, but Boston had the hotter hitters.
Yeah, they did.
Especially David Ortiz.
Exactly.
Yeah, I really thought St. Louis was going to do it. Well, I honestly, I'd said...
Robert, you follow baseball enough to know. Eddie, you follow baseball loosely. I pitched for 16 years in baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Why in God's name do you pitch to David Ortiz? This man is killing you, and just seeing the ball about the size of a basketball. This man's hitting bad pitches out of the ballpark. This man's hitting good pitches out of the ballpark. I heard, I don't remember which manager said it years ago, but they were talking about Barry Bonds, and it applies to David Ortiz in the World Series and in the ALCS for that matter. I'm not going to let one guy beat me. I've seen him walk Barry Bonds with the bases loaded intentionally just to give up 1 run as opposed to 4.
Well, yeah, because it's a decent bet. I mean, you're running a hell of a risk, and in that type situation, yeah. You don't throw to a hitter, especially when you can walk them, especially when it's a big stakes game.
It just don't make no sense to me. And maybe it's a rookie, not really a rookie because he's not a rookie, but maybe, I don't know. I can't let one guy beat me.
And Ortiz did a hell of a job on that. What was he hitting during this World Series? 700?
He hit 670 something after it was over.
After it was over with, 670 something. I mean, damn.
Only the third player ever as a DH to be named World Series MVP, by the way.
Yeah, I agree with World Series MVP, but by the same token, I'm still okay. Look, I hate the DH. I really do. I believe if you're going to take the field, you should play the damn game. If you're going to step into the batter's box, you should have a full-time position outside of the role of hitter.
I used to hate the DH, but do you really want to see pitchers hit? Really?
It adds to the drama.
But, I mean, the DH gives older guys, and I'm not, maybe David falls into that category now, but older guys like Molitor and George Brett and people like that really can't play the field anymore. It extends their careers.
It really does, and that's one part I have no issue. And remember, I work with an American League team, so hey, what can I say? But the fact of the matter is, it's kind of like a flashback to Crash Davis from Bull Durham and the statement that he put out there is like, and there's times when, and I'm just not still sold, even though I understand the extension of career. I understand all the other stuff that's involved as far as the longevity and durability, and it helps your durability. But by the same token, what about the other 8 people on the field? I mean, granted, he's
helping those 8 people on the field because he's keeping the pitcher out of the batter's box. I mean, I think they should have one or the other. Either do it without one in both leagues or do it with one in both leagues.
I think that's what makes it interesting, having the National League not having a DH rule.
Because I think you manage completely different with a DH as opposed to not.
Absolutely. It's kind of like you get, when you have a 3-game series, every day is a new game because you got a different pitcher,
Right.
It kind of changes it up. It's a different style game between a DH and a no DH.
Because you don't see American League. You don't see American League teams doing double switches and bringing people in because they don't have to. Because if the pitcher goes out, they just bring another pitcher in because the DH is still going to hit.
Yeah, it gives you here's that word again, alternative. I prefer American League ball, but being in the South, most people prefer National League.
That's true, unless you're down in Florida, then you have both.
Yes.
But here, like Eddie says, he works for an American League Double-A team here.
Yeah.
Who I thought was a better team than the Red Sox and should have been in the World Series, by the way. Being the Detroit Tigers.
No, I actually work for the White Sox organization.
Chicago White Sox.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They moved. When I was a kid, they were the Tigers.
Yeah, I know.
That was many moons ago, my friend.
I love this.
I'm an old sport. Hey, you're in that club too now. I don't want to hear it.
Barely, just barely.
Well, I'm not like running over in that club. I'm not that much ahead of you.
Yeah, hey, you've got seniorities, all I can tell you.
Yeah, what, by some months?
that counts in my book.
An old fart like somebody on the line right now. Anyway.
And the old fart says we're going to the top of the hour break. We'll be back in 5 right here on Beyond Ringside. This is the Saturday Showcase. Hey, and while I'm at it, welcome to the family. Set and ready to roll. Hour number 2. Beyond Ringside. This is the Saturday Showcase, November 2, 2013. Beautiful day. Plain and simple. The sun's shining through the windows. I walk outside for a quick smoke break, and I realize that I should have worn sweatpants.
You better get this train back on the tracks before somebody pops a gasket.
I posted on our Facebook page a video that I saw courtesy of Impact.
Speaking of something I'll never have to say, I picked it on our Facebook page.
Say what?
I said a phrase that I'll never have to say. I picked it something on a Facebook page.
Posted something on a Facebook page.
Well, I said.
Okay, I thought you said picked it. I'm going, what the hell?
That's what I thought he said, too.
That's what I thought he said.
So that's it.
Okay. I really have to just sit back and wonder, and I said this earlier.
The show was going so well. Do we have to bring up TNA? Damn it.
Well, you have to give credit where credit is due because, Impact has shown the fact that pro wrestling all over again is a very environmentally friendly sport, business, all of the above, due to the fact that, hey, look, you can render the TNA championship vacant all you want to, and everybody's automatically going to say, ooh, CM Punk.
You think? Or, hey, let's do Bound for Glory over again.
That, once again,
it didn't suck enough the first time.
Bound for Glory, in and of itself, is a good concept, but they spread it out too much, too far, and don't do enough.
Well, I mean, you got, like we said before, and I'm not trying to get back into that, but you got some guys that had 6 matches, some guys that's had 9, some guys that's had 11, and the guy that you want to win, you got to put through 2 matches where he gets 20 points to get his ass back in the race. Come on. It's a joke.
They should have
Bound for Glory sucks.
They should have had enough faith in Magnus to keep him in that one spot.
Well, evidently they got plenty of faith now because if you think he's not going to win this tournament, you're crazy.
I don't know that he's going to win it, but he's definitely going to be one of the front runners.
Just remember I said that when it's over.
Oh yeah,
I'll agree.
I will.
Right now,
I'm actually not going to criticize TNA, or not be hard in my criticism, I should say. You can kind of got to give them a pass this week, or at least I do. They've had a big week, being rumor mill going crazy that it's up for sale. We won't discuss.
That's not a rumor mill, dude. It's up for sale.
Oh, I'm sure
that's
it
too
is.
much. That's too much smoke.
No, I agree. I think it is up for sale, and I think it'd be a smart thing to put it up for sale. We won't discuss who the front runners are in buying it. Of course, there's one out there that would make me the happiest man on earth. But
which one is that?
Nature Boy Paul Lee.
of course.
Oh, stop. That falls in the same category of Eric the Midget and Jake Roberts wanting to buy it. Stop.
Yeah, I don't see it happening. But Lord, if it did, I would be a happy person. But no, let's look at what TNA has done in this past week.
Oh God, yes. Okay, please.
No, I'm being serious.
That's about like us getting enough financial backing to go buy the damn thing. Stop.
No, I'm talking. Let's just talk about their product. Let's talk about their product, not who's buying it, whatever. Let's look at it. We are officially done with Hogan, and officially done with Bischoff.
Work from home
right now.
I think they learned their lesson. You
can always hope, but until Hogan's son somewhere, you got to be leery of it out there.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I can agree, but I think they're kind of. I don't know who they're listening to, be it their fans or be it the people in the back that are like, "Look, we've already seen this. This is ridiculous."
I want to pat us on the back.
Oh, I would love
I thought our little radio show was a little bit, but some of the things we brought up in the past couple of weeks, they brought up Thursday.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not. You know, there's one amongst us who has a theory about that, and I will no longer argue with that theory. But man, I think they did a nice turnaround this week. I think because when Dixie came out on was it Facebook, Twitter, wherever the hell she did it, AJ's not the champion, the title's vacant. I said,
YouTube.
Well, here we are, we're copying WWE again.
YouTube.
Okay. I have a question before you go any further.
Okay.
That I want a legitimate answer from both of you from. If AJ is not the champion, okay, like the thing that we got tweeted or texted or whatever, then why are all these reports that AJ is defending the TNA title abroad going on?
I think it's just a storyline. I don't think AJ
No.
Styles is done
They're not saying he's wrestling somewhere else. They're saying he's defending the TNA title. Well, if it's vacant, then how has he got the TNA title?
Okay, well, I haven't seen the reports that he's defending abroad, but
I have in Mexico.
Okay, well, yeah, and that may be what he's doing. I don't think he's done with TNA. If he was not.
Oh, I don't either. But I mean, they're playing this storyline that he's defending the TNA title, But then Dixie comes on and says the TNA title is vacant. Those two can't exist together.
No, I agree. You're contradicting yourself.
Exactly.
But I haven't seen the reports. Maybe it wouldn't be the first time TNA's run with one storyline had something else out there and hadn't cleaned up the mess yet.
And maybe it's just because I'm getting older. But at least if your storylines are going to be decent, they have to make sense.
Right, but I think they took a step in the right direction. Because let's look at the people that we've pulled out that we're going to see compete in this tournament for the title to be the new champion. You went with a whole host of TNA originals. Man, we've been screaming that for a long time, getting back to it.
Yes.
I don't have a problem with anybody in that tournament. I know Ryan's going to say Chris Sabin.
No, I really don't. I think he earned the right to be there. I mean, he had his title run. I figured you'd have a problem with Jeff being there because Jeff's not an original.
He's not an original, but again, he's paid his dues. And he's been
a two-time champion.
Yeah, and he's been in TNA for quite a long time this time.
He's won TNA. He's won the championship more than half the people that's up there.
Yeah, so I mean, he's earned his spot.
I agree.
I'm not a Hardy fan, but he's earned his spot. I think you're going to look at a decent tournament. I think now, just from what I saw Thursday night, they're going to botch this whole deal with Kurt Angle being a part of it. But because I'm not sure what they're trying to get across with that. But that part was not flying with me.
I think he was legitimately injured, by the way.
And he may be. He may be. But, that's
I don't
how
know
they
if it
did,
was his knee like they said, but I think he was legitimately injured.
I'm just saying that's how they did Bound for Glory as well, though. He's, he had two times now he's injured. I've never been a fan of that angle, and it doesn't really matter to me who does it. I've just never really been a big fan of that. But
I'm shocked because I thought you'd be happy because he's putting your boy over.
No, and Bobby Roode is who I would like to see win it. I've said multiple times, if you're going to find somebody to build your company around, Bobby Roode is your guy. I mean, he can carry you. He's got great in-ring talent, and he's got great mic skills. He's entertaining. He's a great heel. That's who you build your company around.
And I'm inclined to agree with that because I'm looking at the championship tournament bracket right now. Round one pairings include, or basically are,
the brackets suck, by the way.
Hardy and Jeff Hardy and Chris Sabin. Hardy goes over in that one easily. They are not going to push Sabin over Hardy unless Hardy's contract is up. Rude's
Why not? Sabin just turned heel. Why not push it?
No, because
and he's your X Division title holder right now.
He's not going to go over Hardy in Hardy's match. That's for sure.
Okay, yeah, because it's full metal. Well, see, here's the bracketing. Because in the other half of that bracket, you've got Bobby Roode versus James Storm. If you actually go ahead and put Sabin over Hardy, you have to put Storm over Roode for the continuity to make sense. If you put
you don't.
Yeah, you do because Impact does.
Roode's going to be in the finals, dude. I'm telling you. I don't care what I've seen the brackets, but Roode's going to be in the finals.
Roode should be. I'll tell you that.
I agree.
Most definitely should be.
Yeah, because
but Roode's going to be in the finals against. Oh crap! I just lost his name all of a sudden.
Magnus,
and Magnus is going to win this time. Because if you notice of those 8 guys, Magnus is the only one that hasn't held the world title yet.
The only logical way that this can play out is that Sabin goes over Hardy, Storm goes over Roode, Aries goes over Angle, Magnus goes over Joe, Magnus goes over Aries, which would in turn put him going up against Chris Sabin in the finals. Unless they put Hardy over Sabin, then they have to put Roode over Storm. TNA's booking does not put heel matchups in play or face matchups in play for more than one match, even in a tournament circumstance. They try to avoid it. So you've got 2 pairings in possibility here.
Okay, of the tournament, I've seen the brackets, like I said. Just mark these words. And I've been wrong before, I'm man enough to own up to it when I am. But the finals of this tournament is Bobby Roode versus Magnus.
And I would like to see that.
Because it's a replay of almost it's a replay. It's a replay of what should have been done in Bound for Glory.
Mm-hmm.
And they decided to go. And look, I don't mind AJ winning Bound for Glory. I think AJ, pardon the pun here, is a phenomenal wrestler.
Absolutely.
His mic skills are suspect sometimes, but they're okay. But as far as it comes to in-ring, I don't mind AJ winning. I don't think the fact that they had to give him 2 20-point matches to get him there was BS, but whatever.
But what I'm saying is trying to make an adjustment because it wasn't flying before. That was just one of their.
It still didn't fly because it sucked.
No, I can agree with that part.
But Bobby Roode and Magnus are your finals in this tournament. I'm telling you.
And the sad part about it is, and I'm wondering who Samoa Joe has pissed off in the company, because he is the one person that nobody is really talking about throughout this whole scenario. I mean, okay.
The same person that Dolph Ziggler's pissed off in WWE. I'm sure
the owner.
I mean, Dolph Ziggler is on high of highs, and now all of a sudden he's basically barely a mid-card guy.
Well, through no fault of his own, Samoa Joe has got a lot of damage control that he's going to have to do himself because he's been so buried by the bad booking and the bad writing that TNA's had going for the past several years.
Yeah, I know.
Thanks, Eric Bischoff.
Oh, absolutely. It's Bischoff and Hogan buried Samoa Joe.
Now, wait a minute. I've got to jump in on this
because they buried Magnus, too, to an extent.
It's not only Bischoff and Hogan that buried Samoa Joe. There have been other people in charge of creative.
Well, I'm just saying, but the storyline has buried Joe since the day they came in the door.
I mean, if it was up to Jeff Jarrett, yeah, the guy would be constantly going for the world championship, but Jeff Jarrett's not handling the book.
No, and Jeff Jarrett, to me, I wouldn't mind seeing that happen. I see a lot of people screaming for it. I don't know if that'll happen.
Although, if you listen to all the rumors, he's more involved now.
Thank God.
He needs to be. He should have never not been involved. But
I don't think anybody on this group's going to argue with you.
No, they're not.
No, but I'm just saying, through all that, Joe's lost so much of his character because
luster.
He's just been swept. Huh?
And the luster of his character.
Absolutely, because he's just been swept under the rug, and he's either been jobbed, overlooked, or forgotten about.
Primarily jobbed.
Yeah, primarily jobbed. And, I mean, for people who don't, I mean, I think most anybody's going to listen to this show understands Samoa Joe and who he is and what he can do. But for those who don't, man, Samoa Joe he's incredible.
He's a hoss.
And for as good a talent as he is, and I have never said anything bad about Joe, and I never will. I still remember Joe in Ring of Honor days.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the matches I saw him do then. Actually, I went back since Eddie turned me on to Ring of Honor a couple of years ago and went back and watched them on YouTube. But phenomenal stuff. He's different from most guys with that caliber talent. He does the job.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does.
He will do the job for whoever wants him to.
The art form in professional wrestling is to make the person you're across the ring from look good, and at the same time make yourself look good.
And a lot of guys with that kind of talent, and I don't know, I'm not saying Joe has an ego, but usually with that kind of talent comes that kind of ego, will not do the job.
And he's shown the fact that he will JOB when asked. He's done everything that has been asked of him. And I'll go ahead and put this on the line.
You give him a shot at the belt. You give him a push for it.
In a real-world bracketing, here you go. Plain and simple.
Yeah, Joe.
Hold on. The left bracket reads Hardy Sabin, Hardy goes over. Rude Storm, Rude goes over. Rude Hardy, Rude goes over. Angle Aries, Angle goes over. Magnus Joe, Joe goes over. Joe Angle, I put Joe over Angle. Angle's
now I would. Yeah.
Angle's not even going to get out of the first round, dude.
Yeah, no, because of the injury. But see, also, if you keep Aries where he is and put him in that second match against Joe, it is going to be a classic.
Aries and Joe, yes,
Austin.
I'd love to see Aries and Joe, but you would think, as in the finals for Bound for Glory, that Magnus and AJ would have been a great match, and it wasn't. That's
because too many constraints put on them because they're trying to redefine AJ's character. I mean, if they were to genuinely put Magnus and AJ Styles and let them run and do what they do best, oh, hell yeah.
Oh, the first time Magnus and, Aries and AJ went at it was great. I don't know, 6 months ago, the first time they ever wrestled each other in TNA was off the chart. The second time they wrestled, it sucked.
You know, the only reason why I don't put Storm over Rude is because of the fact that Storm is still technically in the tag team scenario right now. Rude is more in the singles bracketing. Sabin, granted, former world champion, but by the same token, everybody looks at him as X Division. I hate to pigeonhole. I really do. But in this particular...
you don't have a choice.
But in this circumstance, A, you don't have a choice, but B, and here's your phrase, you have to look at the overall business model. I'm not going to use the term BFB, plain and simple. If I can avoid it, I'm not going to use it. But you have to look at the business model in play. Who is going to draw the most positive attention with your belt?
Look, dude, Sabin as a world title holder, and I think in the ring, even outside the ring in the X Division, he's great. I've never knocked him. But Sabin as your world title holder reminds me of the Miz being the world title holder in WWE.
No, it's more like Daniel Bryan.
It's not believable.
It's more like Daniel Bryan because Chris Sabin has the talent.
No. I'm not talking about talent. I'm just talking about character and everything. When the Miz was a world title holder in WWE, it was like, this is not real. He's not a world title holder. He's not a champion.
It's not as
That's
bad
the way
as,
I felt about Sabin.
And you knew I was going to say this eventually. It's not as bad as David Arquette.
Well, that doesn't. We're talking about people with wrestling talent, okay? Not people who think they can film a movie and become a wrestler.
Oh, Dennis Rodman.
Again, you're referencing yet another one on the list of catastrophes from Hogan and Bischoff right there.
Yeah, buddy.
The best thing about that movie was the work that Canyon did, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
I've never even seen the movie. I never had I'm a wrestling fan. I'm a huge wrestling fan. Never had a desire to see that movie.
I enjoy the movie because of its comedic value with Oliver Platt in it, and watching the work that Kenyon did as Oliver's character when he was taking all the stunts in the movie. And I actually enjoy the movie for a couple of other reasons, because of the wrestlers that have passed away now that are still in that movie. As in Mr. Perfect for one. Perfect's in that movie.
Oh, is he in it?
Yes, he's in it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, sir.
I have to ask a question.
Perfect. I mean, you got a healthy Sid Vicious in that movie before he broke his leg.
Yeah.
Perfect's in there. You got a healthy looking Perry Saturn as opposed to what you have now. Yeah, there's 3 or 4 wrestlers in that movie that have passed away now. Kanan being the main one.
Yeah. Go ahead, Eddie.
I mean, you got Booker T with a high top fade. I mean, Mean Gene's in the movie, so it can't be all bad.
There you go. And for the record, I have to sit back and say, yes, it was a great move bringing back, and the most predictable thing to do is it's kind of like the turkey suit at Thanksgiving.
Oh, which they're going to be doing on TV here in a couple of weeks. Dang it.
Yeah, really. And that's bringing back Abyss for the Halloween episode. Finally. Yeah, you had EY dressed up as Joseph Park, and you had Abyss dressed up as himself. Thank God. Now,
finally,
I read the report.
We've said this before, so I'm rehashing, I guess. But why don't... Dude, the biggest pop of that night was when Eric Young came out.
Of course.
People get it. I mean, the 800 fans that they have in the arena, if they have that many.
If.
And I know I'm being sarcastic because...
But you're being real.
They had more than that. But, I mean, they had less than 2,000 people in bound for bankruptcy.
2,200 actual.
It's a joke. Anyway, these fans pop for Eric Young because they know what he can do.
And Eric Young,
and I don't give a damn who buys it. I don't care if it's Jake the Snake Roberts, if it's Eric the Midget, if it's whoever, if it's Mark Cuban has been reported. I don't care. Can't you see what the fans are cheering for? Let Eric Young have some kind of title run. Whatever. I mean, I don't care what title it is. They didn't have the X Division for a while.
I want to bring back TV title.
Yeah, they brought that up, by the way. Did you notice that?
Yep.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they most certainly did. So
they made a direct reference
our
to
TV
it.
Title. Huh?
Yes, I was like, whoa, maybe somebody's listening.
Yeah,
well, see,
they did bring it up.
I brought this up Wednesday night on TBD. And it was an open letter that I'd created after all the crap with the video posting by Dixie and the AJ being vacated, the world title being vacated, and the Pop-Ups or the Pop-Tarts being unfrosted and all that other crap.
Although I got to say for AJ, when he took the contract and wiped his ass with it, I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah.
That was pretty good. Instead of just tearing it up like was predictable, that was funny.
The fact of the matter is, I don't care who buys it. I don't care if Dixie and the Carter family and Panda Energy keep it. Spike TV is looking at focus groups. They're looking at demos. They're not looking at wrestling fans who spend their money on product.
That's exactly what I was fixing to say. Apparently, they're not looking at the right demo.
Which is why I care who buys it. I'll make that point in a minute.
Oh, I care who buys it.
Don't get me wrong. I think me and Eddie are being facetious here, but I think we do care who buys it.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm just saying, whoever buys it should see what the writing on the walls is.
That's why it needs to be it needs to be somebody involved in wrestling. It's not Jeff Jarrett or Jake Roberts. It's somebody involved in wrestling, not.
Although I believe if Jake bought it, it'd get better.
It probably would. And
I'm not knocking Jake. If he bought it, I think you got to remember, Jake the Snake Roberts is not just Jake the Snake that's just created a bad reputation, but he's certainly done a lot to turn that around. But you got to remember, just other than being the man that created the DDT, Jake Roberts was born and bred in wrestling.
Jake Roberts understands probably better than 99.9% of the people out there the psychology of professional wrestling.
Absolutely. He was raised in the business.
And I didn't say the psychology or the soap opera that is sports entertainment.
Exactly. No, if Jake Roberts bought it, I would not have a problem with it. I really wouldn't. Jake Roberts knows wrestling.
TNA has officially announced return dates at Universal Studios in Orlando, according to The Torch. It's going to be 21 through 23 of November. All 3 tapings are scheduled for 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Sting, whose contract is due at the end of the year, is advertised for all 3 tapings, along with Kurt Angle, Jeff Hardy, Bully Ray, James Storm, Gail Kim, and more. Once again, taking this story directly from The Torch, pwtorch.com.
Yeah, and they're also in a different studio than they used to be.
I'm getting to that. For the tapings, TNA is moving from Soundstage 21 to Soundstage 19. 19 is a smaller studio.
Which is significantly smaller.
According to Universal's website, Soundstage 21 is 22K as far as square feet go, while Soundstage 19 is only 16,500 square feet. However, Soundstage 19 is described on their website as optimally designed as a broadcast production studio, while retaining many of the design characteristics as the traditional stages at Universal. This means that even Universal is not showing that much faith. Either that or their Impact is playing it even smarter and going to rebuild out of a smaller shoebox. Now, look.
Or what you really need to say is they've already committed the original place to somebody else.
Which wouldn't surprise me in the least. That doesn't bother me.
And now that Family Feud's moved to Georgia and doesn't do it from Universal Studios anymore, they need something to put in that stage.
But if you're TNA, this is a great opportunity, and I'm not being smart when I say that. This is a great opportunity to rebuild from scratch, from the bottom up, which is what it's going to take to salvage it, in my opinion. If it can be salvaged, I'm not going to go on record and say it can't be yet.
I'm going to take us to break on this comment. What they have to do, because this is crucial. Wrestling fans do not want to lose Impact in and of itself. They don't want to lose TNA in and of itself, because TNA, as everybody on this panel and the entire network has said, was originally supposed to be a viable alternative to what is being put on WWE television.
If you steal my point, we're going to fight. Oh, good.
But I've already been saying this for weeks, so you can't say I'm stealing your point.
Basically, what you're trying to say is this: all people, us included, and anybody that has any wrestling know-how or love for the business, drink, as you say, at all, needs to lose Impact Wrestling altogether. They need to go back to TNA.
Yeah. Well, Eddie, let's go. I know we're bumping on the break. Let's go to break and pick this back up, because my comment's going to take a minute.
So is mine. So, Faithful, I'll tell you what. We're going to the bottom of the hour break. We're going to go for the home run round in 4.5. Live from Studio 2, this is the Saturday Showcase. Set and ready to roll, let's do it. The home run round from Studio 2, Beyond Ringside Saturday Showcase. Fast Eddie Layne, Hitman BDC, Ryan Adcock, the Cause and Effect, Robert Cosper on this Saturday morning. Thank you for being thank you for letting us be a part of your Saturday morning. Let me line down here and I'll go and click the mouse and let's see. Did we get him back in? Cause, you there?
I'm here, man.
Okie dokie. It happens 11:30 every time his Skype system starts.
20 minutes till 12. It's time for Robert to recall the show.
There you go.
I don't understand what in the hell is causing this.
Now,
I've got to blame you guys somehow.
I think your stalkers wait until 20 minutes till 12 every week just to screw your computer line up.
Pretty much.
Maybe somewhere with a remote or a signal scrambler outside the window here.
Good friend of the Beyond Ringside family, Josh Hand, sent over a question as he is getting ready for the birth of a child in the very near future. Reports say, or we'll use our favorite word, allegedly.
Supposedly.
Not necessarily all reports have been confirmed.
There you go. But that's why we use the word is allegedly. But Josh, love you, man. In all sincerity, the question Josh sent over, if you were to name your child after a professional wrestler, what would that name be and why? Tell you what, we're going to give us a week to think on that one. We're going to use that for the question of the day for next week's episode. That way we all have a chance to weigh pros and cons. And even though we're working out of 3 separate facilities, we'll find a way to steal each other's answers. At least that's what everybody says we do, and we're not. But we went to break. When we went to break, I was making a reference about the open letter that I put out on my side of the coin this past Wednesday night on the To Be Determined show. And My theory is basic. My theory is plain. My theory is very simple.
Your theories are never basic. But go ahead, sir. I digress.
You keep it simple. You're the hitman. You took the pot shot, plain and simple. You went from a grassy knoll. You keep it simple.
Yeah, but I didn't miss.
I didn't say you did. There's a rule of thumb in play when it comes to the world of professional wrestling. If someone is released by a company, they are released for a reason. That is not an automatic bid to turn around and say, "Ooh, crap, we got to bring them in." Remember that. If they're released for wellness policy violations from one company, you may have a problem with wellness policy violations in your company. If they are released by WWE for being an instigator or a troublemaker, well, consider the source. If it's Randy Orton, don't give a damn. I'm sorry. Randy said the word on Miz TV last night on SmackDown. He said it twice. And if there is anybody in the world of professional wrestling who could possibly be more irrelevant, there are times it is the one-trick pony known as Randy Orton. And so,
not irrelevant these days, bud. He is a WWE title holder.
So, well, damn it,
whether we like it or not.
Somebody had to be. I'd rather put it on one of the Usos. At least they can wrestle in they can wrestle in more than one style. They're not a carbon copy every damn match. They do different stuff. They have talent. They have skills. They have a great moveset, and they know how to use it, plain and simple. Randy Orton is like watching a glacier move, and I don't mean Ray Lloyd. But getting back to the point, just because somebody is released from WWE doesn't mean you have to turn around and say, "Ooh, they've got name value. Ooh, they've been on television. Ooh, we bring them in." That's not what Impact was founded on. That's not what TNA was founded on. TNA, of course, being founded to give Jeff Jarrett a reason to hold another championship. I'm kidding, Jeff. I really am. You know that. But it's damn funny.
But if you think about it, and this is basically what you're going around saying, but you're not saying the whole truth. That's what Bischoff's done his whole career.
True, to a great degree. Now, and here's the other thing that I've got to look at. You have to maintain relevance, and you have to maintain a pertinence on a situation. You have to maintain a true focus. You can't be scattered. If you segment your program and let people know to a degree, this is one of the problems with WWE because it's a damn hodgepodge, and Impact followed suit. We'll just throw crap against the wall and see what sticks. That doesn't always work. When you've got physically gifted competitors and talent in your locker room, and you constantly put them in storylines and angles that are not making sense to the populace that spends their damn money, it's not going to help your product. Don't try to overwrite and make things overly elaborate. Keep it simple, stupid.
The good old KISS method.
There you go, dude. Plain and simple. God love the power cord. And when you put things together, if you're not going to center around championships, make the storylines, make the feuds credible, easy to discern, to where the defining line is simple about, hey, this is who we want you to get behind, this is who you should boo. For as much as I respect the Attitude Era and Stone Cold Steve Austin, Austin McMahon, it did more to blur the lines. Now, there are people who genuinely enjoy cheering the heels, i.e. the heel section. Cosper, you're one of the...
Hello, Robert.
Yeah, really. Cosper, Josh Hand, Clay Burton, Brooks Logan. I mean, Dubs, Drew Wojcik.
I've been doing it since '84 or '85.
There you go. I mean,
I like to cheer some specific heels depending on how their character's based.
He broke the plane of the end zone before he lost control of the ball. Sorry, I'm watching the Penn State game.
Yeah, this is a guy talking about, you can't just have a hodgepodge of stuff and set up a format and stay focused on that.
There you go. But the fact of the matter is, you have an X division. Use it wisely and properly. The television title should be more relevant than not being on air since the departure of Devon. I'm not saying that AJ Styles is the answer to the problem. I'm not saying that Bobby Roode is the answer to the problem. I'm not saying that Magnus is the answer to the problem.
No one person is.
I'm saying
all talented wrestlers you just mentioned.
I am saying that intelligent, responsible, creative booking is the answer to the problem. Don't rely on washed-up has-beens who can't go in the ring. Don't rely on people who can't talk people into the chairs. Sorry, Dusty Rhodes said it best. You got to talk asses into the chairs.
Yes, you do.
He also said that nobody shows up to watch a midget beating off in a trash can, too.
No, that's a lie. Look, I have to sit back and say, if you do things properly, more people will watch and you will gain viewership and get back the viewers you have lost. Yes. David Letterman said it perfectly. You know, you've got a good lead-in with Naked. It's like Sci-Fi gave SmackDown a good lead-in with Naked Vegas. That's a cool show. I tape it, I watch it, or I DVR it. Trust me, it's.
You also DVR'd the show with Area 61 or whatever it was called too.
Studio 60 is what he's talking.
Yeah, whatever that was.
Okay, well, it was actually a damn good show. Very well written. Aaron Sorkin put out a great show. It just, unfortunately,
how well was it? Where is it at now?
Well, let's see. When you have people like Lorne Michaels and people like that constantly trashing it, the populace listens to what other people says and don't. We live in a world where people don't think for the damn selves anymore. They read social media. They read the internet. Oh, Lorne Michaels of Saturday Night Live doesn't like this show, so I don't like it either. Screw that theory.
That explains the
Isn't it ironic how I just brought that all the way back around to what TNA's been doing?
Exactly.
Oh, nice segue.
Yeah, very nice. Impressive.
Most impressive.
But the fact of the matter is, people need to quit reading the dirt sheets for anything other than entertainment. Look,
they may need to, but they're not going to.
Yeah, I know.
So you need to fill the dirt sheets with the right information.
Yeah, I know. And it's all op-ed. Everything nowadays, most everything, I think Lords of Pain has been probably one of the most fair sites that I have seen. Wrestling Inc. normally is a fair site. With the exception of Keller, and Keller himself even does it every once in a while. Caldwell's one of the worst about putting a slant on the way everything is done. Report it as the news. Don't call your opinion the news.
Right. Well, I mean, if you think about it, most of the time when Keller does it, he doesn't do it as the news. He does it as his opinion. And if you're going to do it as your opinion, you have a right to say whatever you want. But don't take it as news.
I just get sick and tired of James Caldwell over at the Torch just sitting back trashing everything that comes out. Look, if you're jaded and you hate what's going on in wrestling, quit writing about it. Go to MMA, go to roller derby, go write about horseshoe throwing in Paducah.
But that's what we do. I mean,
we don't hate this. We don't hate this, though.
No, we don't hate it. I don't think he hates it either. I think he's just fed up with it like we are.
But by the same token, we spend as much time being constructive and positive in our critique. We're not just openly trashing.
True, but I mean, that's just the way he chooses to do it.
We're not going to sit.
I see your point.
We don't sit back for 2 hours and go, this sucks, this is horrible, this blows, screw this. I mean, we sit back and say, this is a way you can make it better.
Yeah, we really only do that for like an hour and a half.
Pretty much.
Yeah, we only say TNA sucks for about an hour.
Pretty much. Well, we did it for 45 minutes, but we actually came up with reasons why. There's a reason.
I haven't heard anybody say TNA sucks today.
I haven't said it.
No, I haven't either. I'm talking about in previous shows.
There you go, which we have done before. Tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and sit back and just wrap it up in one nice, neat little package. And here's your bow tie for the day. Be smart about the way you handle things. The walls are there to confine. Understand that. Walls are there to keep things in place. They're a great place for storing stuff. Thank you, George Carlin. But sometimes you can think way too far outside the box.
Yeah, you can get.
Probably one of the greatest comedians of all time, by the way.
God, yes. Carlin, Pryor, two of the greatest of all time.
two that should be on the Mount Rushmore of comedy.
Amen.
With Lenny Bruce.
I'll give you that.
Oh, well, guys, let me finish my
Go
point
ahead.
From earlier too with TNA. Moving them to a smaller studio, man, that could be a great rebuilding opportunity, man. I mean, seriously. You know, and I'd said earlier, back during the summer, we were talking about things we would do to change up TNA. You know, what could make a difference. All right, now I know you guys are probably not going to be as on board as I am. Man, go back to what brought you to the dance to a point. I mean, you can get away with the regular ring, but I think that 6-sided ring would make a difference.
Yep.
It gives you that alternative again. But you're in a smaller studio. Now, I think you both will agree with me, some of the greatest wrestling of all time came out of a very small studio in Atlanta.
Oh, hell yeah.
Omni.
Yeah. I'm just talking about now when they were doing it at TBS Studios.
At the Techwood Studios back in the days of Georgia Championship Wrestling and the early days of World Championship Wrestling before they took it on the road.
Some of the greatest wrestling ever came out of those studios. And but man, sets you up a small, comfortable, intimate environment like that because, man, the fans were just up close and personal with every bit of it. You know what I'm saying?
In a normal sense, you're talking about Palmerdale.
Yeah, but, you know, a little nicer, perhaps.
Probably a lot nicer.
But, you know, dude, old school this a little bit, you know? Because, again, provide that alternative, something different. Man, actually sets yourself up a commentary interview area. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Kind of like they did in the Crockett days where, and leading to that format a little bit where, man, if a brawl breaks out, man, you're 5 feet from rolling into the ring with it.
Yep.
That was excitement.
Yep.
And you could, in a setting that small, you could set that up really well. And you would get away from the basic format that's what wrestling does now. You have one person talking in the ring, one person's talking on the entrance stage. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Do you an interview area? There's a lot of stuff you could change up, but man, I think a smaller environment could be really, really good for TNA, and get back to and I think they showed us this week. They're talking about getting back to basics. You know, we've done away with this Joseph Park angle that was completely stupid.
You think we have?
We can hope. But we've got Abyss back. I'm not an Abyss fan, but Abyss is a good character. He's a definite draw, you know? And I think that's a solid move for him. Go ahead.
I'd love to see James Mitchell back with Abyss.
I would too. But, you know, baby steps here. You know, it's going to take them baby steps. They didn't create this mess overnight, so they're not going to fix it overnight. But, you know, if you did the right things, I think it could be fixed. But yeah, get Mitchell back with Abyss. You could get some good angles off of that.
Oh, hell yeah.
Like I said last week, and I was watching again this week. I think it would be great. We're seeing Storm, and you referenced it earlier. You don't think he's going to go far in the tournament because he's still wrapped up in this tag team.
Right.
I would put Storm back in singles competition. You know, it's just hard to take him with a tag team partner and it not be Bobby Roode, and I will even say that over Chris Harris also.
Yeah, I'm about to say, because America's Most Wanted to me was still they are a defining TNA tag team.
They were a defining TNA tag team. I just think Beer Money is probably the best tag teams come out in 10 or 15 years.
Probably.
But, you know, you're putting Storm back into the singles competition, which I think is where he belongs right now. Man, put Gunner and Eric Young together. I'm telling you, they have that look about them, but they would make a very good tag team. And it gets Eric Young back active in a fairly serious capacity as opposed to this Joseph Park crap. I believe we can write Sting off. I mean, I hate to say that, but I believe we can talk Sting up to gone, and he's going to get his WrestleMania moment.
I hope so. I hope he gets. I don't want him gone. I just want him to get his WrestleMania moment.
Yeah, and I mean, and it's time. You know, I mean, I'm a Sting fan. I always have been, but it's time, dude. You know.
Yeah.
But you know, if you usher Sting out and let him go do that WrestleMania moment, that frees up a spot on the roster. Which I don't mean Sting's holding anybody down, because that's not his style. He's never been like that.
Nope.
But that gives you a little more freedom on your roster, where you can emphasize your TNA talent, which they have a ton of. Get you know, you can mix it up just with the 7 guys or 8 guys that are in this tournament. You can mix up one hell of a good show right there. You know, in any combination of those guys going at it. I think this is a great rebuilding idea for TNA. I think it's a great chance, but they need somebody wrestling oriented in there with them. But this last week, I think they made great strides, and I'm not going to bitch about them this week. I'm really not.
I'm really not either. Hitman, your thoughts?
I'm not going to bitch about TNA this week. I think that there's some more things they need to do to start the rebuilding process, which they have to do, or their company's going to be bankrupt and gone. But they started this week, obviously by the new tournament, and they put the right people up there. Mm-hmm. So I don't have a problem with what they did this week at all. Especially when they, after listening to us, apparently remixed the television title, which they need to have, and it needs to be prevalent. Because that gives several of those wrestlers that don't win the tournament, of those 8, that would be 7. And then there's more like, you know, Kazarian and Daniels and people like that, another title that they can shoot for and bring up on the show.
Kazarian and Daniels, I'm going to pray that they get the tag belts back, because I can't take the bromance too much more.
Yeah, but they did that just to shake things up, and I have to respect the fact that they took that risk.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about Jesse, because I don't think his in-ring skills are real good.
But Eccles,
and wait a minute. I didn't think I'd ever say this, and I'm sure neither one of y'all thought I'd ever say this, but Robbie E is extremely talented in that ring.
I figured that out as time went on. I really did.
As more as I've watched, Robbie E is exceptionally, deceptively good inside that ring.
Yeah, you got to get past him. Oh, Lord, this is horrible when he comes out. You know, what the hell?
That's what they want him to do.
Yeah,
but what I'm saying is
exactly what they want him to do. And he is talented in the ring, but you've got to actually sit through this for a minute and open your mind a little bit, because you're already thinking, this sucks. You know, when's this match going to be over? Before you ever see the guy lock up with anybody's on.
We were talking about Curtis Axel earlier. His out of the ring stuff is horrible. At least Robbie E stuff, you think this is going to suck, but it's entertaining.
Agreed.
I can't wholeheartedly.
And then inside the ring, he's better. He's better inside the ring than Curtis Axel is.
Watch that mouth.
He is deceptively good inside the ring. Just pay attention next time.
No, I'll agree with that. Curtis Axel, I don't know.
Exactly. You don't know if he's any good inside the ring? I don't either.
No, that's not at all what I said.
Sure it is.
Guys, I hate to do it, but we're 3 minutes before the top of the hour, and this has become a tradition around here, so let's go ahead and run this. Kaz, you're going to sit this one out, I know, because you hate the pros. Ryan, let's go ahead and do this tomorrow. Let's run them starting at the 1 o'clock bracket. Let me go ahead and bring this back up. Yes, for November 3. It's going to be at...
So wait a minute. Before we even go to the college bracket, we're just not going to talk about Auburn and Arkansas.
We're going to come back to that.
Okay.
I want to get the. I want to get the.
I thought you were done with college ball. Okay, I'm sorry.
No, I ain't done.
We're sticking to the format, guys.
I was going to give the Auburn fans the last word after the pros.
Go ahead with your pro. Go.
Thank you. Atlanta at Carolina. Carolina giving away 7. Over under 41.
Carolina and take the over.
I'm going to go ahead and say, yeah, at this point, take the over and take Carolina. Minnesota.
You bet against your team?
I have to. I'm sorry. I mean, in this regard, if I'm looking for entertainment purposes only,
what else are we doing? Because we all know we're broadcasters and we ain't got no real money to bet.
Pretty much. In this case, I do have to take Carolina. It makes the most sense. It's a logical bet and a logical outcome. Minnesota on the road at Dallas. Right now, Dallas giving away 10.
Take the Cowboys. Minnesota's awful.
DeMarco Murray for Dallas is probable at this point. Also, Christian Ponder is probable at this point for Minnesota.
Christian Ponder's starting.
Okay, so they have announced he is going to start.
He is starting.
Okay.
Which makes Minnesota that much more awful.
I'm going with Dallas at home in this particular. Now, the one that I'm really looking at just for fun is New Orleans on the road at New York, and right now it's the Jets +3.
Take New Orleans.
What's
the over?
I'm actually going to go ahead and take New Orleans, and yeah, the over's 44.5 at this point, or 45 depending on who.
I take New Orleans the points and the over.
I'll take New Orleans the points and the under in this regard.
I think New Orleans may cover the point spread themselves.
That they would have to, because the Jets against that Saints defense, Rob Ryan's defense on the Jets, they ain't got a chance. Tennessee.
Yeah, you do realize just a fact that you may not know. Brother Ryan, who is the defensive coordinator for the Saints, has played Brother Rex 4 times, and he's 0-4.
Rob Ryan is 0-4 against Rex Ryan?
Correct.
He'll be 1-4 after tomorrow.
I think so, too. I'm just giving you a fact.
Even though the Jets are at home and it's an outdoor game, so...
Dude, the Jets have won 2 or 3 games by smoke and mirrors. The Jets suck. Their defense is pretty good. Their offense is horrible.
Yeah, but you have to remember, if I think the Jets are going to win by a fluky method or something, or a trick play every once in a while, I will call that out. But against the Saints, I just do not see it happening. I've been wrong before. I thought Tennessee was going to keep it close against Alabama. God, was I wrong on that one.
Ding, 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 ding.
And I admitted I was wrong. Tennessee on the road at St. Louis. Rams by 3.
I'll take Tennessee.
And the over's 41.
I think Locker's supposed to play, so I'll take Tennessee.
Okay, the over's 41. Take the under?
I take the under.
You realize if this next game hits, I will have actually gotten it right in this series to this point. Now, I am not giving Kansas City the Super Bowl by any stretch of the imagination, because for those who actually look at the entire schedule, they have a chance to go 9-0 tomorrow as they're on the road against Buffalo, and Kansas City's only given away 3.5. The over's 43. I am going to say Kansas City will win tomorrow. Buffalo will not.
I was going to say, if you're going to say Buffalo, I'm going to throw my phone.
And I don't want to see you throwing a perfectly good iPhone. But I do have Kansas City going over in this one. That will take them to 9-0. Chiefs fans, enjoy this moment, because after the bye week next week, you are Denver, San Diego, Denver.
Yep.
If the sevens line up, thank you, Garth Brooks, for the line, they may get 2 out of those 3. But as it goes right now, if they can get Denver 1 of those 2 games, I'll be eternally ecstatic.
If they get Denver 1 out of those 2 games, it'll be in Arrowhead. They won't be in Denver.
Of course, it'll be in Arrowhead. They're not going to beat the Broncos on the road in Denver. I'm sorry.
That defense is ferocious, dude.
Yeah, it is. But if they beat Denver anywhere, it's going to have to be at Arrowhead. And I think they've got the Chargers at home too. But their second half of the season after the bye week is just mortal hell. They're going to be lucky. The Chiefs, honestly, and like I said, I've been riding this train. I mean, I called this in the preseason that they had the possibility of starting out 6-0 with the possibility of going undefeated through the bye week. But if they come out of after the bye week, if they make it through the end of the season at 500 for the post bye week 500, I will be shocked and impressed. So, Chiefs fans, enjoy.
I think they got a chance to go 500. I think they can steal one from Denver and beat San Diego.
Yeah, but they also. I think the shining jewel is the fact that they got Oakland. But remember, they're also going to have the Colts on the road.
Yeah, Colts are good at home.
Yeah, they are. Ain't they right, Peyton? All right. So I'm taking, actually on this one, believe it or not, the over's 43. I'm taking the under. Chiefs,
me too.
yeah, that's an easy one on that one because the Chiefs have not had a great scoring offense, and half the Bills' starting lineup on offense is hurt. So therefore, it's like, you know something, take the now. If KC's defense steps up and actually does something even more awesome than they have been, which they haven't.
Yeah, but Kansas City's still not going to score a bunch of points.
No, they're not. The defense would have to score. San Diego on the road in Washington. Washington giving away 2.5. Overs 50.
Take the over.
I got the Redskins by a touchdown.
I don't know. There's some turmoil going on with the Redskins. RG3 wants to play one way. Shanahan wants him to play another. I'll say San Diego in a close game.
Nice. Okay. Philadelphia on the afternoon bracket. Philadelphia on the road at the Raiders. Philly giving away 3. Over.
This should be who sucks and who sucks less.
Yeah, I'm taking the under on that one, and I've got Oakland beating Philly.
What'd you say the spread was?
3.
No, the
Oakland plus
over
3.
under.
46.5.
Take Oakland. Here you go, Ted. Take Oakland and the under because Foles is starting at quarterback for Philadelphia, and he cannot run Kelly's system. So take the Raiders at the under.
I'm taking the dog at home in this regard. I'm taking the Raiders, and I'm taking the under. Tampa Bay at Seattle, 14 is what Seattle's giving away. And some saying it could go to 21.
I think Seattle will cover by 21. If they're just giving away 14, that's an easy. Take Seattle at the points.
Yeah, there's a 21-point teaser out there, so it's like I'm taking Seattle and I'm taking the over in this one because I think Seattle will take care of the over by itself, which is 41. Baltimore on the road at Cleveland. Cleveland by 3.
Cleveland's favored by 3.
Yep. Baltimore's giving away 3 points.
I'll take Baltimore at the points.
Over's 40.
Under.
Okay. I'm taking dog at home one more time. No, this is not dog at home. Sorry. I'm taking Cleveland. And I'm going to go ahead and take, I don't know about the over-under on this one. 40 is a really weird number.
Who's starting for Cleveland, Campbell or we?
It says Cleveland. It says Campbell. And Campbell's been doing...
I hate to pick against Jason because I think he's a hell of a player.
And I'm taking that's the reason. That's one of the reasons why I am taking Cleveland is because Campbell has stepped up.
Coming off a bye, so.
And this is an Alabama fan picking the Auburn quarterback. There you go, kids.
Yeah, it's not like you're going on a limb and picking a national championship quarterback. Almost.
Where's Greg?
Undefeated quarterback anyway.
And Jacksonville. Where's Greg McElroy? Or Minnesota? God.
Is.
Yeah, unemployment line, which really sucks because McElroy, once again, national championship quarterback, and could actually run a decent NFL offense.
Yeah, Jacksonville doesn't have that though.
I think McElroy would be a good fit in Texas, in Houston.
I think Texas has got a good quarterback playing quarterback now.
Yeah, let's go for it. Pittsburgh on the road at
You do know who's quarterbacking in Texas now, right?
I can't remember.
It's not Matt Schaub anymore.
Yeah, no, he got
he got hurt, but he's healthy now, but he's still not quarterbacking.
I know, and I can't remember the kid's name.
It's Case Keenum.
That's right. Okay.
Hometown boy.
They have actually Keenan probable for the game, according to the site that I'm
starting.
Okay, well, I haven't seen the final report, so you're going one better than me. Let's see. Pittsburgh on the road, New England. New England's giving away 5.5 to the Steelers.
I'll take New England. There you go, Tosh.
I know that pains you to do that.
Because I hate Bill Belichick. But I just think Pittsburgh's a shell of what they used to be, and especially if you're playing them in Foxborough, I think Brady finds a way.
And there's been one site that just dropped the line to a 15-point teaser, 2.5 for Oakland. Let's see. On this one, I've got to go ahead and go because Pittsburgh has been basically hapless throughout the majority of the year. I'm just going to go ahead and say
they can't run the ball. Their defense is nowhere near as good as it used to be.
I know. We both know this. That's why I'm taking the Patriots on the points. Overs 42. I'm going to go ahead and say under again. I mean, I just don't see this being I see this being one of the most boring weeks in pro football. Sunday night game, Indianapolis versus the Texans. Texans giving away 1.
Oh, wow.
There's your pick. I'm taking Indianapolis, even though it is on the road in Houston. From that vantage point, the Monday night game, Chicago, Green Bay. Green Bay giving away 10.
What's the quarterback for Chicago? I can't think of his name.
Cutler's out. Marshall.
Cutler's not playing.
I know Cutler's out. I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to remember who the quarterback's going to be for.
Is it McCown?
I think.
And Green Bay's giving up 10.
Yeah.
I think Green Bay wins, but I take Chicago in the points because I don't think Green Bay's as good as they have been in the past. And Chicago, they're playing at Lambeau, right?
Yes. That's the only reason why I'm taking Green Bay easily on that one, and it may be a 2-touchdown game.
I think 10's about right, but I'll take Green Bay, but I wouldn't lay them. I take Chicago in the points, but I still think Green Bay's going to win.
I'll take Green Bay straight up.
Well, yeah, straight up, of course.
Yeah, and from that point, over's 48. I take the over. I take the over in that one. Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, pro's done. Alabama, smart money is that we tie this week.
You're not going to go with at home? They're really at home this week.
Yeah, I know, in more ways than one. They're not the underdog. That's why I'm definitely saying
Alabama's never going to be the underdog.
I think they'd be the underdog against Florida State or Clemson right now, believe it or not. I don't
think so. No, I don't think so. Not against Florida. Maybe against Florida State. It'd be a 1 or 2 point game, but against Clemson, Alabama would be favored by 10 or 11 points.
If the referee did not call targeting on that one on the Penn State game, there is something wrong in Denmark. But, a team that is playing this week would happen to be the most favored nation for my 2 tag team partners on this broadcast. Gentlemen, Cosper, I'll bring you into the mix first. Go for it.
Oh, God's team's going to win. There's no doubt. Auburn. Without a doubt.
What did you call them?
God's team.
Okay.
Telling you, greatest football team ever. Beautiful, beautiful area down there also.
Oh, it's gorgeous real estate.
It is a beautiful area down there.
Hitman, come on in.
Give me the points and all that stuff.
Oh, I don't even have
Auburn's
that.
Auburn's going to win the game.
Hold on, let me see.
Because Arkansas, we could be like the commercial with a little. I'm assuming I'm not the only one that's seen this. Where the little boy gets his football taken away from him, and the guy says, "Come back when you got a team."
And they did.
And he comes back and he says, "Tackle." Well, we could put together enough guys to play tackle football that would give Arkansas a run for their money, and we're old farts and over the hill. Auburn's going to run all over Arkansas,
and they're only giving up 8.
I'll take Auburn and the points.
Okay, 54.5 is the over.
I'd take the under because I don't think they can. It depends on how healthy Marshall is. I'm not. He got taken out of the last game and he didn't come back in. I'm assuming he's okay because I haven't heard he's not playing. So
right.
But I'd still take the under. I mean, let's say that it's 35-10, then that doesn't cover the over. So I'm going to take the under, but I think Auburn wins it easily.
Yeah, I'm taking Auburn. I'm taking Auburn in the under in this particular one. Cosper, which way?
Although I don't like them playing Arkansas on the road.
Yeah.
Every time we go up there, we seem to find a way to screw it up.
That is true.
And for the record, according to the notes that I have, the time has been changed. This is actually going to be a 5 p.m. Central Time start, available on ESPN2.
That is correct.
Okay. Well, I'm at scoresandodds.com. That's one of the sites that I like to read on a regular basis because they actually have consistent information coming out there. There's one other one that I really like to read, but I don't have it bookmarked on this particular computer. It's on my desktop. It's on the other laptop that I don't have plugged in. And I'm just scrolling down, and I hate to say it, but like I said, in the pros, it just does not seem like a viably yay weekend. And I'm saying the same thing in college football. Hell, half the top 10's on a bye week. When Pittsburgh,
yeah, but you got two top 10s playing each other, though.
Yes, and that's a saving grace, even though it's 3 touchdowns. And look, I don't call 3 touchdowns a blowout, but I say that is winning by a sizable margin.
Dude, if you beat somebody in college football by 21 points, that is a blowout. Whether you say that or not, 99.9% of anybody else that question is asked to, if you lose by 3 touchdowns, is that a blowout? The answer is yes.
And in about 2 hours from right now, Georgia, Florida, on location, the world's largest cocktail party. That is, I would go down to that game, and I would actually wear a Georgia jersey.
The world's largest outdoor cocktail party.
Amen.
Although they won't let the media call it that anymore.
The media can suck my testicles in that regard. Quit being politically correct about everything. Look, the game built a reputation as being a party. Let it be a party. We don't have to be serious about every frickin' thing that comes up and down the pike.
This is something that it's kind of a joke, but it's kind of not. The Jacksonville faithful that come out for this game, because it's not playing. They're playing in a different stadium than they normally play for Florida. They play at Jacksonville Stadium.
Right.
If they actually came out and watched, they would actually probably see 2 football teams that are better than the team that actually plays there.
Yeah, I know. Because I'd take the Gator.
I really don't think any college team could ever go up against a pro team and win. Because they've had that debate the past couple of years. Could Alabama beat whoever sucks in the NFL?
Hey, look, I would pay to see Florida State versus the Jaguars.
No, you wouldn't, because it would. Dude, those kids in college, and don't get me wrong, they're phenomenal athletes, but those are still kids. The guys from the Jacksonville Jaguars are grown-ass men.
They need to play like it. They need good coaching first.
They have better grown-ass men on every other team, but I'm just saying, you can be good in Pee Wee, and then you have to step up another league to be good in junior high, and you have to step up in another league and lose a bunch of people to be good in high school, and you step up another league to not only play college ball, but to excel in college ball, and then you have to step up another league to get into the NFL, and then you have to step up another league to be a lead in the NFL. It's daylight and dark between college and the NFL.
On that note, let's take it home. Cosper, last call.
Last call. I'm sitting here contemplating while you guys were discussing pro football, thinking about doing an iPad giveaway.
Fine, give it to me. I'll use it.
No, it's the holiday season.
You got enough electronics.
No, it's the holiday season. I'm just contemplating. I'm still hammering out the details. Thinking about what if we did like some kind of contest. People can use as many good words as they want, so it won't be an essay form, to describe the greatness of the cause. And the best essay or the best submission would get an iPad, brand new in the package iPad.
No, let's not do that. You just give it to me, because I don't have any of that stuff.
I'm trying to be fair.
We'll give you the iPad if you get on Facebook.
No. Oh.
Yeah, an iPad for when you get on Facebook. That is a good idea.
That is interesting.
I win.
That's not a bad idea at all. That's worth thinking about.
That's funny.
That's my last call. I'm just contemplating an iPad giveaway.
You got to start getting into pro ball at least a little bit, dude.
Yep.
It just feels like you need to be in the middle of this with us.
I may need to, but it would take me forever to catch up.
Not really. Just kind of
really.
watch a couple of weeks, and you'd be kind of caught up. You can always tell the who's got it and the who don't in the NFL. It's not real hard.
That's actually very true. By the way, I got to tip my hat to the Brooklyn Nets, 101-100 winners last night over the Miami Heat, and of course, my Lakers fell to the Spurs, 91-85. Damn. Cleveland takes on the Pacers tonight at 6:00 Central. That's going to be a pick'em game. Chicago, Philadelphia. I would love to see the 76ers too. Vegas has got the 76ers at 16.5 as far as the over-unders, as far as the wins go on the season. And I'm not too far from agreeing or disagreeing with that. But let me go ahead.
They already have 2 wins?
I think they do.
So that means they got to win 15 more games for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
Okay.
I'll take that.
Hitman, last call.
Well, I got a couple of things. Crap. I think, let me start off with this. I mean, I got a couple things, and I don't want to run too long, but I got a couple things we need to talk about. We didn't. I'll just run them as last call. I'm afraid because the buy rates and the pay-per-view buys for WWE programming over the past 3 months are down, as they usually are this time of year, which Vince and the boys up in WWE headquarters seem to forget. But the buy rates are down, and I think the one professional wrestler that's going to suffer for that is Daniel Bryan. Because they're going to say, we gave Daniel Bryan 3 or 4 chances, storyline not pending, at the world title, and nobody bought the pay-per-views, and nobody's tuning in to Monday Night Raw. Of course, anybody that knows anything about anything knows that's BS. But I think, from that being the case, that Daniel Bryan won't be in the world title picture for the next few months. Probably not even till you get to WrestleMania, but probably not till at least WrestleMania. And I think that that's kind of travesty, because I think Daniel Bryan is a phenomenal worker, and I think Daniel Bryan toted Randy Orton more than once. I think they screwed up by putting the belt back on Orton. I think Daniel Bryan should have finally got it, and then he could have ran with it for a while. But I digress.
No, I completely agree with everything you just said.
I agree, and the main reason why they probably started giving up on the factor of Daniel Bryan is because WWE used too much forced drama and too much overly cerebral bullshit in the storyline on that one. Sorry, had to say it.
Yeah, but it's not Daniel Bryan that's hurt it. It's the bad storyline that's hurt it.
Agreed, but he's the one that's going to pay the price for it.
Yeah,
of course.
I'm agreeing with you. I think you're right.
I agree.
Because, and this is just me, of course, I'm a Stone Cold mark from years ago. I don't think I have ever, since Stone Cold, and The Rock too, for that matter, but since Stone Cold's days, I don't think I've ever seen a wrestler be as over as Daniel Bryan was a couple of months ago. And they're going to penalize him because the buy rates and the TV viewership rates for Monday night and Friday night are down for the past couple of months.
Well,
and it's not his fault.
I'm gonna hope WWE will be professional enough to realize it's not necessarily your character; it was your story. And as a whole, WWE is usually a lot more professional than everyone else about stuff like that.
I agree, but as you can evidently see by what transpired on Monday, they've already taken Daniel Bryan out of the main event storyline.
Well, I'm not totally ruling that he's out of that main event storyline.
He's out of it.
I think they're altering it up a bit, and I think because when you've got the Wyatt family doing the things they're doing and jumping different people, and
you mean
the devil made me do it. I don't for 1 second think the devil's Triple H.
Stop! You didn't let me finish.
I apologize.
Okay. They've taken CM Punk, and I'm not saying that the way they're going with the new Shield being the Wyatt family.
Mm-hmm.
And Daniel Bryan and CM Punk is a bad angle, because I don't think it is. I think it has the opportunity to be something great.
And you've got Miz in that mix also.
No, I'm not even acknowledging that.
Just saying
Sorry.
They jumped him too is all I'm saying.
Yeah, you're right. But they've evidently, in the Survivor Series, as they've obviously set up, it's going to be the Wyatts plus somebody versus CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, and a couple of other guys. So they've already taken CM Punk, one of your top guys, Daniel Bryan, another one of your top guys, and taken them out of the main event world title storyline.
But is Survivor Series where we get Daddy Mac back, or do we not? Because I personally think that's the devil behind this.
I didn't hear what you said. Is Survivor Series what?
Do we get Daddy Mac back? Vince.
I don't think he's that has an opportunity to be the devil. I think the better storyline would be Vince is the one behind the Big Show.
That's a given.
Go ahead.
That's a given.
Maybe
I
Vince,
think so too.
Maybe Big Show's your fourth man for that Survivor Series you're talking about.
Or maybe Big Show puts his own team against Triple H with Randy Orton and somebody else.
Could definitely do that.
Not Triple H wrestling, but Randy Orton's team. Or you can put the Big Show
and Orton for the title.
That's what I figured there. You can do Big Show and Orton for the title, which I think as popular as Big Show is, I don't mind him being. And this is surprising to me, but I don't mind him being in the main event storyline right now. I think he's earned it. I think he's rebuilt his character again, and he has the popularity now.
Which I'm floored. Out of all the stuff he's done, I'm floored that he's this over. I'm not understanding.
Let me tell you another thing I read about the Big Show. Chris Jericho was doing an interview, and he said if he had a wrestling company, if not in his top 3, definitely in his top 5 of the wrestlers he would pick to run his company or be in his company, the Big Show's in there.
Hell yeah.
Big Show's a team player.
And that coming from Chris Jericho, who would be one of my top 3, says a lot.
Well,
but anyway,
Big
I think that. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying he's been a team player, especially for WWE.
And like Jericho says, and I have to agree with, for his size, he can do a lot in that ring.
Amen.
He can.
But I digress. I will finish with a couple other things. I think the Devil, and I hate it because I know he's your boy, but I think the Devil is Paul Heyman. Because Heyman was on top of the cage talking about he was Satan.
Okay,
and Curtis Axel and Ryback suck. They got to go. How cool would it be if you saw the Wyatts with Heyman?
I have no problem with that.
I think it'd be overkill.
Do what?
You think what?
I think it'd be overkill.
Really?
Yes.
Well, you got 2 great guys working a mic on the same side.
And
anyway,
and this is WWE. They only get so much mic time.
Are the Devil being Vince or Paulie?
I'm going with Vince.
Anyway.
I would go with Vince. And how does Kane play out here? Let's ask this question.
According to what you read, Kane's wanting to be more evident on TV. You can have a splinter off with Stephanie, but by the way, even splinter off from Triple H now.
Yeah, but you have the last time we saw Kane until the other night was at SummerSlam, and the Wyatts carried him out.
Right.
And he went to make his movie. We know that. He's come back, and the Wyatts have kind of been a little more prominent also the past few weeks or past 2 weeks. Kane comes out, hands his mask to Stephanie.
Because they want to let him be more on TV because the movie's coming out.
Okay, because I'd have really thought he'd have gone the other way and come back transformed as part of the Wyatt clan. Because I really thought that's what they were leading up to with SummerSlam.
I would have thought that might have been a better story angle, by the way.
Yeah. No, it's just me. I know we're hitting
or I'm going to tell you another thing. He could, and he's run this kind of angle before. The Devil could be the Undertaker.
The Ministry.
Yeah, but who? But that's why I still say Vince, because when you did the corporate ministry and you had the quote unquote devil behind it, who was it? It was Vince.
The higher power.
Yeah.
True.
Gentlemen,
another thing. Can I finish my last call?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I'm just asking. As much as everybody here on this podcast or internet radio show, whatever you want to call it, want this Sting and Undertaker angle to happen at WrestleMania, I don't think it's going to happen. And it saddens me because I want Sting to have his WrestleMania moment and go and then go into the Hall of Fame, as he so eloquently deserves.
Oh, he definitely deserves it.
You know, as great a wrestler as he was, you know, he's another guy like Joe. He's done the JOB for years.
Sting's done what is best for the company for years.
Exactly. But I think this is the angle they're going to run, and I could be way off base, but just watching, especially the fact that Damien Sandow beats the dog tar out of Cena and he wins the match anyway. I think here's what's going to happen. Or if I'm not going to get Sting and Taker at WrestleMania 30, and if I got it at 31, it would still be great. It would be the best match on the card, I'm sure, but it would lose a little bit because 30 is special. Okay? If that's not going to happen, this is what I'm afraid is going to happen. I'm afraid Cena's going to keep the belt until WrestleMania. And he is going to challenge Taker at Mania, belt versus the Streak. Super Cena versus the Phenom at the biggest WrestleMania of them all.
I'd hate to see that happen.
Would you, though? I thought that, too, and I thought this would be awful, and then I thought about this. Let's say that it happens. and Taker beats him for the title and then rides off into the sunset. That's not so bad, is it?
No, it's not, but it's like you said, 30's got to be a big deal. Taker, Cena.
Taker and Cena have never wrestled before. That's a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it could be. It wouldn't be to me, but yeah, to your modern fan, yeah, I'm more an old school guy and would rather see. I'd rather see a Taker. Yeah.
When it comes to Cena, and I can best sum it up like this, and I hope I'm not the only one since Robert never watches a movie, that same Private Parts with Howard Stern.
Never seen it.
What a loser. Love you, though. There's a line in the movie when they talk about the buy rates of the people that are listening to Howard Stern, and they say that people love him, and they tune in to see what he's going to do next. But then more people hate him, but they still tune in because they want to see what he's going to do next. That sums up John Cena. Whether you love him, well, not with that too, but with John Cena the character, whether you love him, and evidently proven by the television viewers from Monday and Friday night, or Friday night isn't out yet, but Monday, with John Cena being back on TV, the ratings went up. Whether you like him or whether you hate him, you still tune in to see what he's going to do next. And that's why Vince got him back on TV, or got him back on the pay-per-view that fast. Because he feels like, since the ratings were slipping constantly every month for pay-per-views, of course, if you don't put out 13 pay-per-views in a year, you probably won't have that problem. But that's another story. That's why he got him back on TV, and the ratings are already going back up.
Yeah, ratings John Cena's good for. And speaking of ratings, I know Eddie's wanting to mooch a free meal and rate some other restaurant, so I know he's about ready to kick us off the air here.
He can kick me off, but I got one more thing real fast. I want to say, like we said earlier, that I thought TNA did a better job this week to help start rebuilding their company.
I think they did too.
And especially with Taz uttering the line, "This club sucks," talking about aces and eights. I don't know if anybody caught that other than me.
No, I caught it.
But thank God that angle's finally going to be dead. And that's almost as big a start as this retooling for the world title. Get rid of aces and eights. Get rid of main event mafia. I don't think they need to turn Magnus heel, but evidently they're going to do that anyway because he's already started that.
Yep.
But, whatever. I think Magnus should have been a face and stay that way. But, because then you put him in a match with Bobby Roode and you have heel versus face. Now he's turned on Sting twice, so they're going to make him hit whatever. But get rid of aces and eights. Get rid of main event mafia. Let Joe and Magnus do their thing. Let Angle do his when he's healthy, and let Sting ride off into the sunset.
That's what I'm saying. I think we're going to see both factions fade off because I know you're saying Sting's confirmed through the end of the year, but if I'm not mistaken, Sting's contract's up this month.
I think it is too, but of course, like I said a minute ago, as much as we want him to wrestle Taker at Mania, I don't think it's going to happen. I think he missed the boat in WrestleMania in Atlanta when WWE wanted him and he didn't go.
If it were anybody but Sting, I'd say maybe, but Stinger, I think he can. I think he's still a draw. If he wanted to go, I think he could go.
I think he could too, but I think with the changeover or the supposed changeover in the front office, I don't think there's as big a push for Sting as there was 5 years ago. So
I think Hunter wants him.
I don't think he wants him as bad as people want him to want him. I hate that because I want him. I want him.
Say what you want about Hunter. He is true to wrestling. He loves wrestling.
Yeah, I'll give him that.
Hunter started as a fan. I mean, my gosh, that's how he got his start.
But if you listen to the
contest,
if you listen to the reports, Hunter wants Hogan too.
Yeah, unfortunately, Hunter's even said before, that he's got a tremendous amount of respect for the people he's been in the ring with. Hogan's up on the top of his list, and not quite with Shawn, but almost there.
I don't want to see. This is my last point. I don't want to see Shawn Michaels back in the wrestling ring. I don't mind him as a referee, but it looks to me like they're leading to a storyline where Daniel Bryan may wrestle Shawn Michaels.
See, that's where I think Shawn's smarter than so many of the others that he's in that class with. Shawn knew when to get out. He got out, and for the most part, he stayed away. He's
and I think it would ruin his legacy if he comes back. Well, not ruin it, but lessen it. How's that?
Yeah, it would tarnish it, and I think that's where Shawn's smarter than the Hogans and the Flairs and guys like that.
I mean, of all the great matches, WrestleMania, coming down on a zip line and all the matches with Bret, but I mean, you finished it up at WrestleMania against the Undertaker.
Mm-hmm.
How does it get much better than that?
You don't.
You come back 3 years later and have a 5-star match with one of the best technical wrestlers in the business that everybody knows is that. If you come back for a good reason and you make the match stick, nobody will bitch about it. If you come back and the match sucks,
that in a match with Daniel Bryan?
Tell me how Shawn Michaels and Daniel Bryan can have a bad match.
I'm not saying they could, but they're not going to have as good a match as Undertaker and Shawn had.
No, I don't
even want Shawn to come back and wrestle Triple H, and that's a rumor going around too.
Yeah,
I think Shawn needs to stay out.
I agree. But if he's going to come back, look, if he comes back, don't make it against Triple H, which would be totally predictable in this regard, and everybody knows how that would go. Look,
it's already been done.
Yeah, it's been there, done that. Give Shawn Michaels and Daniel Bryan the opportunity to light up the frickin' wrestling world, have the IWC have the internet wrestling community buzzing like never before, and everybody's expectations riding high on a match that can deliver. Shawn Michaels and Daniel Bryan can deliver. And
absolutely, but what I'm saying is this. Can Shawn go with Daniel Bryan anymore?
I think he can.
I don't think he can.
Yeah, I think he can.
And I don't think he can. I mean, and dude, I put Shawn Michaels on my Mount Rushmore, so I'm not knocking HBK. Please, anybody listening, don't misunderstand that.
Understandable.
I just don't think Shawn can go with Daniel Bryan.
One night, let it all ride? Yeah, I think he could.
Yeah, one night only, let it go.
I think he could go with guys like Taker or Triple H or some guys that are older, but man, Shawn's pushing 50.
So?
I don't think he can go with Daniel Bryan.
But Shawn's taking care of himself. He really has.
True.
He's still in good shape.
But what I'm saying is, Father Time holds back for nobody.
Oh, I agree with that. That's what I'm saying. Dude, one night, let it fly. Let it all hang out for one night, and that be it.
But as good a match, and it wasn't a great match, the Shawn Michaels Ric Flair match. It wasn't a great match
because Flair couldn't go
with Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, but 10 years difference there.
No. Wait.
15 to 18 years difference in Daniel Bryan and Shawn Michaels.
There's an easy answer for that. Ric Flair let himself go. Shawn Michaels has not let himself go. Ric Flair was in the absolute worst shape I've seen anybody in, including myself after a trip to the crab leg buffet. Shawn Michaels has trimmed down.
I'm not disagreeing with you at all. I'm not. But I'm just saying, watching that match seemed to lessen Ric Flair's legacy.
Yeah, it should have been done 2 years previous.
Yes.
Sure. And I don't want that for Shawn.
Nobody does, but I don't think Shawn falls into that Flair category.
True.
I hope you're right. And I really do. But I'm just saying, you're talking about a guy who's almost 20 years his senior.
So what? Let him run.
Shawn's still got some youth in him. Flair does
not.
Yeah,
he does.
And Flair has not for a long time.
Flair hasn't been Flair for years, and Shawn Michaels can at least be Shawn Michaels. But I hate to do it.
But Shawn Michaels ain't been Shawn Michaels since WrestleMania. You know what I'm saying with Taker?
We don't know that.
Yeah, he's not wrestled since then, so we don't know.
Okay. Okay.
There comes a point where you have to invest in probabilities and invest in the unknown, because without taking the risk and finding out what is unknown, it never becomes known.
That's true, but his legacy is cemented. If I'm going to go out, I'm going to go out at Mania against somebody like Taker. I think if you come back, it just lessens it, even if it's a great match. And it very well may be. I'm not saying it wouldn't.
Rick Steamboat went out on Monday Night Raw.
I mean, the Taker at Mania with a streak on the line is the antithesis. It's the mecca. It's the top. And he produced a great match.
But if I were to roll the dice and put my money on a legend to come back and have a 5-star match with one of my top guys in the ring right now, I would put my money on Shawn Michaels. That's the legend I would go with.
I have no argument with that point whatsoever. I'm just saying that's the reason I think that Cena's going to go against Taker, because everybody wants that moment against Taker at Mania.
Okay,
Triple H had it twice, Shawn had it twice, and it doesn't get any bigger than that. And John Cena is like you say, the modern day Hogan. He has to go against Taker at Mania.
But you won't be able to get Shawn Michaels and Daniel Bryan at Mania. It would have to take place at Rumble.
Why couldn't it take place at Mania? Because Daniel Bryan's going to be
stretch that story out.
Why not? He's already hooked up with the Wyatts now. But I'm just saying. Yeah. That's why I think Cena goes against Taker at Mania, because he hasn't had that moment yet. I mean, I know he wrestled The Rock, but if you had a choice, being a professional wrestler fan or being a professional wrestler, would you rather wrestle Rock at Mania, returning Rock at Mania, I should say, or would you rather wrestle Taker at Mania?
I'd rather wrestle Mushroom Swiss Burger.
Go get your free meal.
It's not free.
Bastard.
Let's take it home. Hitman, shameless plugs.
No shameless plugs for me.
We're going to get him on Facebook. One way or another.
If I get a free tablet out of it, I'll think about it.
You might just get a free iPad out of the deal.
I'll think about it.
Cosper, shameless.
All right, my mic's breaking up anyway. Shameless plug. I reactivated my Twitter account.
It's 20-1. Your stalker's calling back.
Yes, I'm telling you, she's outside with a buzzer now. I reactivated my Twitter. I need some friends. It's at the Cause, C-O-S-Z, the Cause on Twitter, at the Cause. End of my plugs.
Okie dokie. BeyondRingside.com. Easy way to keep track of everything. Podcast link up there. Twitter link maybe up there. Facebook, you know it. Facebook.com/BeyondRingside Live. Yours truly, find it all at Fast Eddie Layne, LAYNE.com. Facebook.com/Fast Eddie Layne. Also at Fast Eddie Layne on Instagram. Quick reminder, program notes tomorrow, 6:30 Eastern, 5:30 Central. Beyond Ringside Live returns. Special guest scheduled to be Mike Cruz. Tuesday night conversation in the works. I'll keep you posted. Keep your eyes on BeyondRingside.com for the return of the Back to Basics. Wednesday night.
You better check on that for me, though. If I get a free iPad and get on Facebook, you better check, see if kissmy_ass.com is taken.
There you go.
I got you covered on the iPad.
Wednesday at 10 Eastern, 9 p.m. Central, the to be determined show on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network. And of course, we're here Saturday mornings, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Pacific. Until next time.
We got nothing better to do
on a Saturday morning other than find a way to make find me a damn good burger.
Other than to feed your fat behind.
There you go. Y'all are holding me back from a free lunch. Eddie Layne my way into 6,000 calories.
I've seen you tear into the multiple plates of crab legs. If you get hungry enough, I don't think anybody can hold you back from food.
There you go. Yeah, I know. I could have just said, "Okay, we're done. Bye." But I'm never going to. But yeah. From that vantage point, exactly. For the Cause and Effect, Robert Cosper.
Over and out.
For the Hitman Big Daddy Cool, Ryan Adcock.
Often imitated, never duplicated.
This is the Magic City Motor Mouth, Fast Eddie Layne saying, until next time, adios, das vidania, hasta luego, auf Wiedersehen, ciao, sayonara, adieu, arrivederci, farewell, abba, au revoir, and aloha means bye-bye. Join us next Saturday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific, as we all go beyond ringside.
See ya.